Chapter 835. The first rays of dawn dyed Whitestag like a painting. Let's go back. You're feeling rather weak, Fan said as she kissed Charlotte. Remember to get Chef to buy you some tonics. Because of that, Charlotte's hair became disheveled. It had nothing to do with the wind. After breakfast, Xia Lei arrived at the Thunder Horse Army factory. The first thing he did was to summon all the senior staff to his multi-purpose conference room. Not only the senior personnel in the Thunder Horse military factory, but also the senior personnel of Haizhu and the subbases in Sichuan joined the meeting through online video. Xia Lei showed the huge order of 1,000 scavenger IFVs and the documents that Fan had given him last night, one by one, and passed them around. The intervention of the nation was an unprecedented support and a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. He had to let everyone in the Thunder Horse group know about such an important matter because it was time for all the Thunder Horse people to create their own era. In the meeting room, Charlotte swept his gaze across the familiar faces. His expression was solemn and his eyes were resolute. The intervention of the nation is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. We have to grasp it. This isn't about how much money we make. It's about whether our military industry can rise again. I believe all of you understand the burden and responsibility on our shoulders. Not everyone has such an opportunity. I hope that when you grow old, you'll be proud of what you've done today. Your descendants will be proud of what you've done. Chairman Xia, you don't have to cheer us on. We're willing to follow you. Yes, we'll do whatever you want us to do. Chairman Xia, we'll follow you and do something great. We'll show the Americans and Japanese our strength. Yes, we've been locked away by the Americans and Europeans for decades. They even mocked us for only making socks and shirts. I've been holding back this anger for decades. This time, I'll definitely let it all out. Chairman Xia, we'll follow you. The people in the meeting room were excited. All of the Rehorse members were rubbing their palms and their morale was high. Charlotte could easily gather his people together. This was not something that could be done overnight. It had to be accumulated bit by bit. He never mistreated his employees, and his prestige in the professional field was unparalleled. Using carrot and stick at the same time was the power tactics of the ancient emperors. Charlotte was the king of the Rema group. He never specialized in power tactics, but his power tactics came naturally. After explaining the situation and boosting their morale, Charlotte then made the relevant arrangements. Huang Shuwen, you're in charge of the artificial intelligence. If you don't have enough money, I'll give you more. If you don't have enough people, I'll give you more. In short, you have to apply artificial intelligence technology to our production line and our weapon system. No problem, Chairman Xia. Huang Shuwen answered very straightforwardly and confidently. In fact, the artificial intelligence technology that Charlotte gave him had already laid a good foundation for him. This meant that Charlotte had given him enough bricks and cement. He only needed to use the bricks and cement that Charlotte had given him to build his house. And this was exactly what he was good at. Charlotte's gaze shifted to Sylvia and Anina. Sylvia, Anina, both of you are the chief engineers of the Rema Group. The development of the tank will be handed over to you. Can you make the best tank? Anina smiled. I repaired tanks in Germany. I can dismantle the Leopard 2 tank into parts and assemble it. Sylvia stared at Charlotte. I specialize in processing precision parts. All of Rheinmetall's precision parts come from my workshop. I have the world's best smart machine tool here. If Anina and I work together, we can build a tank that's even more advanced than the Leopard 2. In fact, not only did Anina have the entire structure of the Leopard 2 tank in her head, but Charlotte had also stolen the related technology when he was at Rheinmetall. When the three of them combined what they had mastered, it was the most advanced tank technology in the world. Coupled with the upgrade of Charlotte's superbrain, the technology wasn't a problem. The only problem was how to combine those technologies and build a tank that belonged to the Rema Group. And this was only a matter of time. Charlotte smiled. The tank workshop is yours. I'll give you whatever you need. I only have one request. Let me see our own tank as soon as possible. Sylvia and Anina looked at each other with a smile on their lips and a strange look in their eyes. Charlotte seemed to realize that he had given the wrong hint. He then shifted his gaze to a monitor. Lingshan, Little Red, you guys are the base for manufacturing parts. Your roles are very important. Immediately start the plan to expand production. If you need manpower, ask the local government for help. If you need money, I'll fully support you. On the monitor, Guan Lingshan and Zhou Xiaohong, who attended the meeting via video call, replied together, "No problem, Chairman Xia." The arrangements were carried out one by one. Each of the senior executives of the Rema Group had their own task. After they left, they would mobilize their subordinate. In short, in the face of this historical opportunity, every Rema person was the main character in creating a new era. The meeting lasted for a full 2 hours before it ended. Charlotte returned to his office and sat for a few minutes before heading to the on-call lounge. The on-call lounge was specially prepared for Qin Kaiyue. Now, it had become the place where Qin Kaiyue taught Zhu Xianyue etiquette. The meeting just now was very important, but Qin Kaiyue didn't attend it. This was also the reason why Charlotte wanted to come and take a look. He had asked Qin Kaiyue to attend the meeting previously, but for some reason, she didn't attend. When he arrived at the door of the lounge, he heard voices coming from inside. "Squat down. I told you to squat down. Bark like a dog. Woof woof. Woof woof. Roll on the ground. Woof woof. What's going on?" Charlotte was stunned on the spot. He had asked Qin Kaiyue to teach Zhu Xianyue etiquette so that she could behave normally to the greatest extent possible. This way, it could also avoid unnecessary suspicion. However, based on the conversation he had heard, how was this teaching etiquette? It was simply taming a beast. Moreover, the beast tamer wasn't Qin Kaiyue, but Zhu Xianyue. The scolding voice he heard was all Zhu Xianyue's voice, and the sound of barking like a dog was actually Qin Kaiyue's voice. "Good girl, open your mouth. I'll give you a biscuit." "Woof woof. Hee hee, my good dog, raise your butt. I want to spank your butt." "Woof woof, woof woof. Paw paw." The sound of someone slapping his butt. Charlotte couldn't hold it in anymore. He pushed the door open. The scene in the room was like a frozen cold current blowing past. His entire body froze. In his line of sight, Zhu Xianyue was sitting on the sofa with her legs crossed, holding a feather duster in her hand. Meanwhile, Qin Kaiyue was lying on the ground with her but raised. Her super short office lady skirt exposed a blue silk scenery. It was an alluring scenery, but Charlotte wasn't in the mood to look at it. His heart was filled with surprise and curiosity. "What's going on? Uncle Xia?" Zhu Xianyue stood up from the sofa. She seemed to have realized something and hid the feather duster behind her. However, the strange thing was that Charlotte had clearly entered the room and even spoken, but Qin Kaiyue was still kneeling on the ground. Not only did she not greet Charlotte, she didn't even show any signs of getting up. Charlotte was about to ask, but he changed his mind. He smiled and said, "What game are you guys playing? Can I join?" "Uncle Xia, do you want to play too?" Zhu Xianyue suddenly became excited. Charlotte walked in front of Qin Kaiyue. "Yeah, I want to play too." As he spoke, he observed Qin Kaiyue. He noticed that Qin Kaiyue's eyes were empty. She was like a puppet without a soul. His heart was suddenly filled with fear because he suddenly thought of Peaceful. Peaceful had been like this when she was hospitalized in the sanatorium. Zhu Xianyue reached out her hand and slapped Qin Kaiyue's butt. Then, she said, "Good dog, bark for Uncle Xia." Qin Kaiyue raised her head and barked at Charlotte. "Woof, woof. Is she good?" Zhu Xianyue said proudly. Charlotte's face turned serious. "What did you do to her?" "No, I didn't do anything. I just played a game with her." Zhu Xianyue looked very nervous. "You want her to become a dog and she becomes a dog? What did you do? Charlotte pretended to be angry. Tell me how you did it. Otherwise, I will ignore you. Tell me. Don't be so fierce. Zhu Xianyue hesitated before saying, I can talk to her inside her body and make her listen to me. Charlotte was shocked. His first thought was hypnosis, but this was clearly not hypnosis. There was no hypnotist in the world who could hypnotize a person's soul. At most, they could control a person's thoughts. They needed a lot of help, such as drugs and props, and the time was very short. I can also make her become a cat. Do you want to see? Zhu Xianyue interrupted Charlotte's thoughts. Charlotte thought about it. Can you make me become a dog? This was a bit risky, but if he wanted to understand how she did it, he had to experience it himself. However, Zhu Xianyue shook her head. You can't do it. I can't do it. Charlotte was surprised. Why? Zhu Xianyue pointed to her own head. The you inside your body is too strong. I can't convince you. It's okay. You can try. Charlotte was very curious. Okay, I will try. Zhu Xianyue moved in front of Charlotte and stared at him, but she didn't speak. But her eyes became strange. The color deepened instantly. In the blink of an eye, it was so dark that it seemed to be soaked in ink. It seemed to be slowly rotating. It gave people the feeling that it was not eyes, but two deep black holes. Facing this pair of strange eyes, Charlotte felt like he was being pulled by something and was about to fall into a black hole. He seemed to hear something vaguely. The voice was murmuring and he couldn't hear what it said. But in his heart, he had an urge to listen to the voice, and his brain was getting more and more dizzy. At that moment, his brain suddenly released the mysterious energy that was lurking in his brain. It was also in that instant that he came to his senses. Zhu Xuanyue's eyes returned to normal. She looked unhappy. I knew it wouldn't work, but you didn't believe me. Let her return to normal, Charlotte said. He thought Zhu Xianyue was going to do something, but Qin Kaiyue, who had been kneeling on the ground, suddenly woke up. Why did I fall? Qin Kaiyue looked surprised. Charlotte sighed. Maybe the floor was slippery. You don't have to teach her etiquette in the future. If she continued teaching, Qin Kaiyue might become the next peaceful. Chapter 836. New funds, talents from all over the country, and even professionals transferred from Hanwu Weapons Company, poured into Rema Group like a river. Huge funds and a huge talent system injected a strong momentum into the Lima Group. Every day, every hour, and even every second, it was changing and becoming stronger and stronger. If Rema Group was compared to a computer, then Charlotte was undoubtedly the computer's CPU. A huge amount of funds and a huge talent system were operating in an orderly manner under his management. He also joined in on the technical problems. The things he installed in his brain also produced chemical reactions after a period of fermentation and precipitation. During his time in Germany, he used his brain to install almost the entire Rheinmetall company. Not only the technology of tanks, fighting vehicles, artillery, and defense systems, but even the layout of the workshop's buildings and machines, related electrical engineering, and so on. He installed this factory in his brain, and now he added the artificial intelligence technology obtained from the Hattori family, as well as some technology obtained during the Villepinte International Army Weapons Exhibition in Paris. The huge amount of content mixed together, but his brain was still able to sort it out, remove the dross, and leave the essence. Then, the essence evolved again, becoming more advanced and more accurate technology. Then, the things dug out from his brain flowed continuously to the various departments and workshops of Rema Group. For Rema Group, Charlotte was not only the leader, but also the nutrient base that delivered nourishment. In the blink of an eye, Sherboran's 60th birthday arrived. Before going, Charlotte imagined that the birthday party would be held in a big hotel with a lot of guests. However, when he arrived, he realized that it was not like that. Sherboran's birthday party was held in a remote resort. Moreover, it was not a star-rated resort. It was just an ordinary resort in the mountains. Apart from the scenery, there was nothing else to recommend it. After getting out of the car, Charlotte, who was dressed in a suit and leather shoes, carried a gift box. Tang Yuyan, who was dressed like a famous lady of the Republic of China in a navy blue cheongsam, held Charlotte's hand intimately. The two walked together like a golden boy and jade girl. The perfect couple attracted many envious gazes. However, there were also hateful gazes. Liang Xiao was one of them. Does she really think she's Charlotte's girlfriend? Liang Xiao frowned and said to Long Bing. Long Bing's face was expressionless as she said indifferently, I'm afraid that's not all. She must have treated her as Charlotte's fiancée. How shameless, Liang Xiao said. For the sake of the person they love, for the rest of their lives, women can really be shameless sometimes, Long Bing said in a calm tone. Liang Xiao looked at Long Bing and asked tentatively, Don't you mind at all? Long Bing shrugged. Why would I mind? You're asking for trouble. Liang Xiao was speechless. Her heart was full of bitterness, but she had no one to talk to. Life was so strange. You didn't cherish what you had, and when you lost it, it was too late to regret. If she didn't have a choice back then, how could there be Shintu Tianyin in the past and Tang Yuyan now? You're not the only one regretting it. Long Bing said indifferently, Now that Charlotte is our national treasure, Rema Group has also become a major project supported by the country, and Rema Group's interests have become the country's strategic interests. Rema Group's assets have already surpassed Wanxiang Group, and the Shentu family's woman is the one regretting it the most. Liang Xiao snorted. She's too smart. If she had given up on Wanxiang Group and moved into Rema Group, there wouldn't be Tang Yuyan. The Tang family also saw the political capital and assets on Charlotte, and that's why they forced Tang Yuyan into Charlotte's bed, right? The so-called Tang family is just a group of powerful people. The Tang sect in Shu has existed for hundreds of years, and they naturally have their own rules and means of survival. Long Bing said softly, You're Charlotte's first girlfriend. Don't you know his weakness? His weakness? Liang Xiao looked at Long Bing curiously. He won't refuse people, especially women. Liang Xiao smiled bitterly. Indeed, Long Bing saw through it. She had to admit it. Charlotte was actually very kind. He would never hurt people who were good to him, especially women. He had forgiven her and Shintu Tianyin for what they had done to him. How many men in this world could have such a heart? Tang Yuyan and Charlotte walked over. Charlotte felt rather awkward. Tang Yuyan was holding his arms so intimately in front of his two lovers. What was going on? He didn't think much of Long Bing because he knew her well. She didn't care about such things. But Liang Xiao was different. She was a woman who got jealous easily. Despite the awkwardness, he still had to greet her. Charlotte forced a smile. You came earlier than I did. Long Bing nodded slightly. Liang Xiao smiled at Charlotte. I didn't have any missions today, so I came here early. I wanted to go to Whitestag to get you, but Boss sure told me and Frosty to come here to help, so I didn't come. Charlotte didn't know what to say. Tang Yuyan smiled sweetly. Frosty Xiao, do you think the qipao I'm wearing looks good? Does it match Charlotte's suit? Long Bing didn't say anything and only looked at her. Liang Xiao shook her head. It doesn't. Tang Yuyan's smile disappeared in an instant. Liang Xiao smiled. How does a qipao match a suit? Tang Yuyan smirked. Leicester, do you think it looks good? Charlotte felt a headache coming on. How could a man interfere when women were fighting over a man's affections? If he said it didn't look good, Tang Yuyan definitely wouldn't be happy. If he said it looked good, Liang Xiao definitely wouldn't be happy. Regardless of whether they were happy or not, he wouldn't feel comfortable being stuck in the middle. Just as Charlotte was wondering how to deal with the fight between Liang Xiao and Tang Yuyan, another group of people entered the resort. It was Yu Shanhe and Ling Hao. Charlotte took the opportunity to change the subject. Why are they here? Did Boss sure invite them? I don't know. I'll ask my godfather later. Tang Yuyan said. Long Bing said, Leicester, come to me later. I have something to tell you. Okay. Charlotte didn't ask what it was and agreed immediately. At this time, Yu Shanhe and Ling Hao came over. Both of them were empty-handed and didn't bring any gift. Chairman Xia. Ling Hao smiled and greeted him. You've been on a roll recently. You've achieved great success in your career and you've won a beauty. You and Miss Tang look like a perfect match when you stand together. Hearing such compliments from Ling Hao's mouth, Charlotte was stunned for a moment. He thought to himself, what's wrong with this guy today? That was what he thought in his heart, but Xia Lei ignored him. Tang Yuyan was very happy. Seeing that Charlotte didn't say anything, she didn't say anything. She just looked at Ling Hao and Yu Shanhe and didn't even greet them. She seemed to have entered the role of Charlotte's woman. Both Ling Hao and Yu Shanhe were Charlotte's opponents. Of course, she had to treat them from Charlotte's standpoint. What's wrong? Ling Hao shrugged and said with a smile, Can't we even say hello now? We're just business competitors. We're not enemies. Yes, we're not enemies. Not only are we not enemies, but we're also friends. Charlotte said with a smile. I like broad-minded men like you. Let's go in and have some tea. Yu Shanhe said with a smile. A cup of tea to forget enmity? Dream on. Charlotte said lightly, Sorry, Chief Yu, I have something to deal with. Another day. Yu Shanhe's face suddenly became ugly. What kind of person was he? If he was in ancient times, he would be a prominent governor with troops in his hands. Everywhere he went, he would be served like an ancestor. But now, the boss of a private company was talking to him in such a tone. What made him even more uncomfortable was that even if the boss spoke to him in such a tone, he still had to grit his teeth and accept it. Not for anything else, but because the boss was Charlotte. He didn't care about Charlotte in the past, but now Charlotte was out of his league. They parted on bad terms. Yu Shanhe brushed past Ling Hao. It's really a case of a vile man getting his way, and his chickens and dogs rising to the heavens. Yu Shanhe's eyes flashed with hatred. If I knew he could develop to this extent, I should have killed him. Ling Hao sighed, Chief Yu, it's not your fault. Who could have imagined this situation? I must have misjudged him. Hateful. I have given him a way out. I even expressed my goodwill to him personally, but he didn't appreciate it. Yu Shanhe thought of Charlotte's ridiculing tone and gritted his teeth. He is now a popular man in the eyes of the higher-ups. It's difficult to deal with him now. Difficult? There are no clean capitalists in this world. It only took him a few years to develop to this point. I don't believe he has never done anything immoral. Yu Shanhe said. Chief Yu, you mean? Ling Hao stopped in his tracks. Yu Shanhe looked back, and when he was sure there was no one behind him, he whispered in Ling Hao's ear, Check what he has done. I've investigated him before. That kid really hasn't done anything seriously illegal or immoral. Ling Hao said, He must have done something illegal, but those things can't touch him at all. If I could, I would have done it when I was still in the ZN Bureau. I wouldn't have waited until today. If you can't touch him, can't you touch the people around him? Ling Hao frowned slightly. The current Charlotte was someone he absolutely didn't want to provoke. However, he felt that Yu Shanhe had been blinded by hatred. Yu Shanhe smiled faintly. I know what you are thinking. I am not an impulsive person. My plan is, Ling Hao listened, nodded slightly, and then a smile appeared on his face. Chapter 837. After entering the tea-house, Charlotte saw Sherboran and handed the gift box to Sherboran. Sherboran didn't accept it and said with a straight face, Didn't I tell you? Just come, don't give me a gift. Charlotte smiled. Boss Sher, it's your 60th birthday, how can I come empty-handed? In fact, it's not a gift, just a teapot and a pound of tea leaves. Tea set? Tea leaves? Sherboran revealed a smile. Eason purple clay teapot, West Lake Longjing, not worth much, Charlotte said. Tang Yuyan moved closer to Sherborne's ear and whispered, "Don't listen to him, that teapot was bought from someone else for 900,000 yuan. It's someone's ancestral heirloom, it's said to be from the Qing Dynasty Imperial Palace. The tea leaves are top-quality West Lake Longjing, 100,000 yuan per pound." Sherborne was so shocked that he couldn't close his mouth. Charlotte stared at Tang Yuyan. Tang Yuyan giggled, "Godfather, just accept it, just consider it as a gift from me. Besides, you usually take care of him, you're about to retire, what's wrong with him giving you a teapot?" "You don't say, I've never used such a good teapot to drink tea before. I'll consider it as a gift from you." Sherborne accepted Charlotte's humble gift. With the godfather and goddaughter singing the same tune, Charlotte became the godson-in-law, making him feel embarrassed. However, he didn't blame Tang Yuyan for telling the value of his gift to Sherborne. He gave a gift of 1,000,000 yuan. If it was considered as a gift of a few hundred yuan, he would certainly feel uncomfortable. Sherborne had always taken care of him, this could be considered as him returning the favor. Under such circumstances, he certainly hoped that Sherborne knew the value of this humble gift. "I'm going to retire. I only have one wish now," Sherborne said as he looked at Charlotte. Charlotte took over the conversation and said with a smile, "I wonder what kind of wish does Mr. Sher have? If there's anything I can do to help, just ask." Sherborne smiled and said, "You're right. You're the only one who can help me with this wish of mine. No one else can." What do I think you're doing?" Charlotte asked curiously. "Do you really not know, or are you just pretending?" "I really don't know." "All right, then I'll be straightforward." Sherborne smiled and said, "My wish is to attend your and Yu Yan's wedding as soon as possible. Do you think only you can help me realize this wish?" Charlotte forced a smile, but he couldn't say anything. "Godfather." Tang Yuyan stamped her foot, looking very spoiled. Sherborne laughed heartily and then sighed. "I'm old. My old brothers from back then are also old. This era belongs to you young people. Oh right, Yu Yan, I'll introduce you to some leaders later. Before I retire, you have to be ready to take over." Tang Yuyan nodded. Sure enough, Tang Yuyan took over Sherborne's position. This news was not unexpected to Charlotte, but he felt a little abrupt. At this time, Charlotte suddenly saw Long Bing waving at him from a corner, motioning him to come over. "You guys talk, I'll go over." Charlotte walked toward Long Bing. He didn't notice that Tang Yuyan and Sherborne frowned at the same time. Charlotte came to Long Bing's side and couldn't help but smile. He said kindly, "You said you wanted to tell me something. What is it?" "Let's go out and talk. It's not convenient to talk here." Long Bing turned and walked toward an exit. Charlotte was curious as he followed Long Bing out of the tea house. Long Bing stopped under a banyan tree. "I heard the news that the higher-ups are going to investigate Yu Shanhe and Ling Hao. Not everyone could get away with doing bad things. There was an old saying that it wasn't that revenge wasn't coming, but that it wasn't time yet. Yu Shanhe and Ling Hao were in such a situation. For their own interests, they damaged the interests of the country and even killed people. They had done so many bad things. Even if they didn't fail today, they would fail one day." Charlotte's mood suddenly improved. He said with a smile, "This is really good news. Did you call me out just to tell me this news?" Long Bing said, "The higher-ups asked me to be in charge of this matter. This is a good thing." Charlotte said, "This is a big case, and it's a case that is destined to be solved. This is equivalent to giving you a great credit. The higher-ups gave me 10 days. In these 10 days, I have to get evidence that can bring Yu Shanhe and Ling Hao to justice. If I can't do it, I will be dismissed." A bitter smile appeared on Long Bing's mouth. Charlotte was not happy at all. This matter seemed to be a good thing to give away, but in reality it was a hot potato. 10 days. It was not difficult to get rid of Ling Hao in 10 days, but to get rid of Yu Shanhe, it was as difficult as ascending to heaven. As long as a person reached a certain extreme, it would be difficult for anyone to touch him, because the slightest move would affect the whole body. In fact, Yu Shanhe was not just Yu Shanhe. There were many people who stood with Yu Shanhe who had a stake in the case. It was not difficult to catch Yu Shanhe, or even throw him into prison. What was difficult was what would happen after he was caught. Such a big case, such a big tiger, in fact, even Sherborne was afraid that it would be difficult to deal with it himself, let alone a small section chief like Long Bing, not to mention the 10-day deadline. In ancient times, it would take at least 1 or 2 years to deal with a high-ranking official like Yu Shanhe. Even in modern times, it was actually not something that could be done in 10 days. It needed to sort out a lot of materials, collect a lot of evidence, and deal with a lot of related people and things. Which of these things could be done in 10 days? The more Charlotte thought about it, the more uncomfortable he felt. Who gave you this task? I don't know. How can you not know? Someone must have told you about it, right? Charlotte tentatively said, Is it CEO Sure? Long Bing smiled bitterly. I really don't know. It is a secret task, and it appeared on my desk in the form of a secret document. The document clearly states what I have to do. The time limit given in the document is 10 days, and today is the first day. I will ask CEO Sure. Charlotte was a little angry. He must know about this. Who is so stupid to give you such a task and set a 10-day deadline? Long Bing grabbed Charlotte. Don't be impulsive. Don't let me affect your important matters. You are my woman. If someone dares to bully you, do I still need to swallow my anger? She asked him not to be impulsive, but he really couldn't control the anger in his heart. He was so impulsive that he wanted to beat someone up. What did you just say? Long Bing stared at Charlotte. I said I want to beat someone up, Charlotte said angrily. Long Bing smiled. It's not this sentence. You never said this sentence. I am talking about what you said just now. Charlotte was slightly stunned. He understood what Long Bing meant. Say it again. I want to hear it. Long Bing said. You are my woman. Charlotte smiled bitterly. Someone bullied you. Long Bing suddenly reached out and covered Charlotte's mouth. That's enough. I don't want to hear anything else. I don't care. She only had this little request? She was so easily satisfied? Yes, she only had this little request. She was also easily satisfied. Because she was Long Bing. She was not Shintu Tianyin. She was not Liang Shuriao. She was not Tang Yuyan. She never asked for anything when she was with him. She didn't even have the slightest request. No matter what he did, she always silently supported him. No matter what danger he encountered, she always stood in front of him. She did not hesitate to take a bullet for him. She did not hesitate to kill for him. And what did he do for her? Now that she was bullied like this, he wanted to stand up for her. But she still stopped him and thought for his sake. She was really too good. Lazy, you don't have to worry about this. She let go of his hand. No, I'm going to take care of this. I don't care who it is. I don't care what his purpose is. No one can bully my woman. Charlotte's eyes were very cold. Why don't you listen? You should be focusing all your energy and attention on the Lima group, not me. At worst, I'll be dismissed. I don't care. She said. You really don't care? Don't I know you? You love this country, and you love your job. You have done so much for this country and this job. You can't even have what a woman should have. You still lie to me that you don't care? Long Bing was silent. Charlotte was right. But what could she do? I'll go ask Boss Sure. Charlotte still wanted to go. No. Long Bing grabbed Charlotte's arm. Even if you want to go, wait for me to try. Maybe I can complete this task. In that case, you won't get into trouble. Okay, I won't ask. Charlotte said this, but in his heart, he secretly said, When you're not here, I'll ask alone. I know you and Liang Xiao have investigated Song Baicheng's death. Can you tell me what you know? This is the only breakthrough I can think of. Long Bing said. Charlotte thought for a moment and said, even if you want to try, you have to take me with you. Yu Shanhe and Ling Hao are my opponents. These two guys have done all kinds of bad things, but they are still at large. I want to send them to prison. What can you do? Charlotte sneered. You'll know when the time comes. At this time, he didn't know why he thought of a person, a very special woman. In his mind, he also thought of the ability that woman had. She could make Qin Kaiwa listen to her command. From China, she could even give her body to her. She could also make Qin Kaiwa lie on the ground like a dog and listen to her command. With such a helper, would it be difficult for him to deal with someone? Chapter 838. Before the banquet started, the Tang family came. Tang Yunhai, Tang Tianlong, Tang Buchuan and Zhang Yumei were there. Shi Boren arranged Charlotte and the Tang family to sit at the same table. There were also a few people from the Shi family. If other guests were not counted, it would be a family dinner. Yu Shanhe and Ling Hao were sitting at a table next to them, and the people sitting at that table were all big shot. Yu Shanhe and those people seemed to be on good terms with each other. When Charlotte glanced at Yu Shanhe and Ling Hao got up and walked to a window. When he came to the window, he took out his cell phone and was ready to call someone. Charlotte was about to lock his eyes on the reflection on the window and use lip reading to interpret his words when his cell phone suddenly rang. Who would call at this time? Charlotte didn't answer it. He continued to lock his eyes on Ling Hao, but Ling Hao didn't speak either. Your cell phone is ringing. Why don't you answer it? Tang Yuyen came over and looked a little curious. I didn't hear it. Sorry. Charlotte took out his cell phone, but there was no number on the screen. He felt strange. He got up and left the table before he answered the phone. Hello, may I ask, it's me. A man's voice came from the phone. Charlotte was stunned for a moment. He was so familiar with the voice because it was Ling Hao's voice. They were in the same restaurant and could hear each other if they spoke loudly, but Ling Hao chose to call him in this way. What did Ling Hao want to do? Charlotte couldn't guess Ling Hao's motive. Don't be surprised. I just want to talk to you. It was Ling Hao's voice. Charlotte said lightly, I don't know what to talk about between us. Don't you think it's funny? It's really funny. It was Ling Hao's voice. But if I didn't do this, would you talk to me? You have closed the door to communication. I have no choice but to do this. Communication. Charlotte snorted. I wanted to communicate with you before, but you didn't even open the door. Now you come to me to communicate. Is it useful? I hope it works. I'm just going to say a few words. You should really listen to them. Go ahead. You're a smart person. I believe you understand the principle of leaving a way out for yourself. You've already gotten what you wanted, so there's no need to target anyone else. It won't do anyone any good if we continue to be enemies like this. Ling Hao's voice became softer. Officer Yu is being nice to you and giving you a way out. You should take this opportunity to bury the hatchet. As long as you are willing, we will be friends in the future. One more friend is better than one more enemy, right? Was he trying peaceful means before resorting to force, or was he really trying to resolve the conflict? No matter what Yu Shanhe and Ling Hao's intentions were, the conflict between Charlotte and these two men could not be resolved. Not for any other reason, but because the actions of Ta Wang in Shi province had something to do with these two men. The deaths of Amanda and Pu Taiyong also had something to do with these two men. More importantly, even he himself had almost died on the snowy mountains of Tavang in Shi province. If you could forgive someone who killed your family or even almost killed you, it was not broad-minded, but stupid. What's more, Yu Shanhe and Ling Hao were being nice to him at this critical juncture. Once they got over it, would they still be friends with him? These two men were simply wolves in human skin. They were not trustworthy. Charlotte knew this very well, but he still smiled. Okay, I'm fine with it. I like making friends the most. That's settled then. Come over and have a toast with Yushanha later. Charlotte was silent for a moment and said, There's no need for that. It will be strange for others to see it. Well, let's make an appointment tonight. We'll change places and have a good talk. At that time, it won't be a problem to have a toast with 10 glasses of wine, let alone one. Ling Hao hung up the phone and turned to look at Charlotte with a smile on his face. Charlotte nodded slightly to him with a friendly smile. Ling Hao returned to the table. Instead, Charlotte dialed a number and made a call. What is it, Chairman Xia? Qin Kaiyue asked. What is Xiao Zhu doing? Charlotte asked. She went out on the street. Out on the streets? Where did she go? Qin Kaiyue asked. She said she wanted to buy some toys. I'm not free, so I had 2 security guards take her to Whitestag. Don't worry, the 2 guards are watching her. She'll be fine. Have the 2 guards bring her back and wait for my call. I'll tell you the time and place. Bring her here after I call, all right? Charlotte said. All right, I understand. I'll call the security guards now. All right, I understand. I'll call them right away, Qin Kaiyue said. Xia Lei hung up the phone and returned to the dining table. Even though Zhu Xianyue was only a few years old, he wasn't worried at all that Zhu Xianyue would be in danger when she went out to buy toys. The only one who could harm her in this world was probably that mysterious black-robed man, wasn't it? Apart from that black-robed man, it would be fine as long as she didn't harm anyone else. Who else could harm her? Bring Zhu Xianyue to the appointment. She should be able to give me a surprise, right? Charlotte's lips curled into a cold smile. What are you laughing at? Tang Yuyan asked. She was laughing as well. Did you think of something fun? Charlotte said, Nothing. By the way, there's something I wanted to ask you. Uncle Xia is here, Tang Yuyan suddenly interrupted Charlotte. Charlotte looked over and saw his father, Xia Changhe, walking over. Tang Tianlong stood up and held Xia Changhe's hand in a friendly manner. Brother, come. Have a seat. We've been waiting for you to start. I'm really sorry. There was a traffic jam on the way. I've kept everyone waiting. Xia Changhe looked apologetic. He glanced at Charlotte. The father and son just smiled faintly and didn't say anything. When Xia Changhe arrived, the Tang family members greeted him warmly as if they were a family. Charlotte was having a headache. He could feel that although his father, Xia Changhe, said that he could make the decision between him and Tang Yuyan, his father liked him and Tang Yuyan to be together. Otherwise, his father wouldn't have told him about holding a grandson, and he wouldn't have come here. However, he understood his father's heart. There was no parent who didn't want their children to have a good home. The Tang family was a prestigious family, and Tang Yuyan was the pearl of the Tang family. If he and Tang Yuyan got together, it would be equivalent to integrating the power and resources of the Xia family and the Tang family. It would be a great thing for both parties. He had actually carefully considered the matter of him getting together with Tang Yuyan. Tang Yuyan had a prestigious family background. She was also beautiful and outstanding in all aspects. Moreover, she was about to become the director of Innings 101. She would hold great power in her hands. Facing such an outstanding woman who was absolutely compatible with him, he always felt that something was missing in his heart. After exchanging pleasantries, the birthday banquet began. Everyone at the table toasted each other, and the atmosphere was lively. The more I look at Charlotte, the more I like him. Not only is he handsome, but he's also kind. I really don't know which girl is lucky enough to marry him. Zhang Yumei suddenly started a topic. Everyone at the table focused their attention on Charlotte and Tang Yuyan. They were a perfect match, and people liked them just by looking at them. Charlotte was no match for these people's gazes, so he lowered his head slightly. Xia Changhe chuckled and said, Your Yu Yan is also not bad. Not only is she beautiful, but she also has a good temper. Your Tang family is also a prestigious family. Any man who marries your Yu Yen will be blessed. Tang Yuyen looked very shy. She also lowered her head and looked at Charlotte from the corner of her eye. Sherboran, who was at the same table, suddenly laughed and said, I think you guys should not say such useless words. I'm a boorish person, and I like to be straightforward. I like both Yu Yen and Charlotte. Both of your families are too embarrassed to ask. How about I be the matchmaker today, and bring these two children together? Okay, I have no objection. Zhang Yumei smiled as sweetly as a flower. I fell in love with Charlotte the first time I saw him. I think he is the other half of our Yu Yen. Husband and wife, that's called husband and wife. Tang Yunhai laughed. Old Xia, what do you think? Sherboran looked at Xia Changhe. Xia Changhe glanced at Charlotte and said with a smile, I have no objection. I also like Yu Yen. That's it. It's settled. Sherboran laughed and said, My birthday banquet is equal to the engagement banquet of your two families. Ha! Then, everyone at the table focused their attention on Charlotte and Tang Yuyen. Both parents had no objection and liked them, but the two protagonists didn't express their opinions. The two protagonists looked embarrassed. Oh, I almost forgot. Sherboran chuckled and said, This kind of thing, we old people are talking about it here, but the two of them haven't expressed their opinions yet. Yu Yen, do you have any objection? Godfather. Tang Yuyen's face was already red, but now it was even redder. Her demeanor was bashful, but she had the charm of a pure and innocent girl. Sherboran looked at Charlotte. Charlotte, what about you? What do you mean? Charlotte wanted to say something but stopped on second thought. He looked embarrassed and nervous. Long Bing was right. It was his biggest weakness that he didn't know how to refuse people. Moreover, it wasn't something that could be easily refused. The Tang family had used Sherboran's 60th birthday to force him into a marriage. This was already putting their faces in their trouser pockets and giving him enough face. If he refused on this occasion, it would be equivalent to slapping the Tang family in the face. For a family that valued face and inheritance, if they were to be slapped in the face at this time, they would definitely not be friends in the future. Moreover, this was something that his father, Xia Changhe, had agreed to. His father, Xia Changhe, had given him 2 lives. The first was when he brought him to this world. The second was when he risked his life to steal the AE capsule from the AE Research Center. It cured his terminal illness, and his ability came from it. His father, Xia Changhe, had never asked anything from him. He only gave and never took. His father, Xia Changhe, only had this one wish. How could he bear to reject it? Worst of all, he and Tang Yuyen did have a vague feeling of liking each other. Everyone at the table was nervous, especially Tang Yuyen. Why are you being so wishy-washy? Say it. Sherboran urged. Charlotte took a deep breath. Just as he was about to continue, a voice suddenly came. Brother-in-law. Bad news. Chapter 839. In this world, there was only one person who had ever called someone brother-in-law, and that was the Shentu family's Fu Mingmei. The person who came was really Fu Mingmei. Her call of brother-in-law was clear and loud, and it also caused the entire audience to fall silent. The Tang and Xia families were in the midst of matchmaking, and they wanted to bring Charlotte and Tang Yuyen together to achieve a beautiful event. Under such an occasion, for her to suddenly appear and call Charlotte brother-in-law, wasn't it obvious that she was here to mess things up? It was also because of her calling him brother-in-law that Charlotte was about to say that he swallowed back the words that he was about to say. He couldn't understand why Fu Mingmei would appear here. Tang Yuyen's expression immediately turned ugly, and a hint of hatred flashed in her eyes. Fu Mingmei strode towards Charlotte. Zhang Yumei frowned. Who is this woman? She. Charlotte braced himself and said, She is Shintu Tianin's sister, adopted sister. Zhang Yumei's expression also turned ugly. Who was Shintu Tianyin? Everyone at this table knew who he was. At this critical juncture, Shintu Tianyin's adopted sister appeared here, and even called Charlotte brother-in-law in public. Her intentions were self-evident. The atmosphere suddenly became awkward, silent, and tense. Brother-in-law. Fu Mingmei quickly walked to Charlotte's side, looking anxious. My sister, what's wrong with Tianyin? Charlotte was also a little anxious. Moreover, he and Shintu Tianyin had been husband and wife for so long, and he had also deeply loved her. In his heart, he had always been very concerned about her, so seeing Fu Mingmei so anxious, he also began to worry. My sister suddenly fainted at the company. She's now in the hospital for emergency treatment. Quickly go and see her. It's not certain. Fu Mingmei looked like she was about to cry. Charlotte immediately became anxious, and he hurriedly stood up. Which hospital is she in now? Bring me there. Wait. Tang Yuyan suddenly grabbed Charlotte's hand. Let me ask Miss Fu a question. Without waiting for Charlotte to speak, she said, Miss Fu, how did you know we were here? What a coincidence. Fu Mingmei hesitated. Tell me, how did you know we were here? Tang Yuyan pressed. Charlotte didn't notice this detail at first. When Tang Yuyan asked this, he also felt strange. Yes, how did Fu Mingmei know he was here? Why should I tell you? Fu Mingmei was furious. She said to Charlotte, I've told you the situation. This might be the last time you can see each other. If you're willing, you can come with me. If not, you can stay here. Be your heartbreaker. Charlotte glared at Fu Mingmei. How can you say that? I'll go with you. Tang Yuyan was a little anxious. She hasn't answered my question. Fu Mingmei turned around and left. Charlotte said, I'll go and have a look first. Then he also rushed away. Tang Yuyan wanted to follow him, but her feet seemed to be filled with lead and she couldn't move. The fiancée went to see the ex-wife. Why would she, the fiancée, go and join in the fun? The woman of the Tang family couldn't afford to lose face like this. This woman is really shameless. Zhang Yumei seemed to want to curse, but in the end she didn't curse. She snorted. She must have been sent by that woman. She can't bear to see Ru Yen and Charlotte together. The woman she was talking about was obviously Shintu Tianyin. Tang Tianlong looked at Tang Yuyan. Why don't you go and have a look? Tang Yuyan said angrily, No. Zhang Yumei said, Why should we go? Ru Yen is a magnanimous person. She also knows how to give her man space. As she spoke, she also stepped on Tang Tianlong's foot next to her. Tang Tianlong suddenly understood something, and then he shut his mouth. One was the face of the Tang family, and the other was a man like Charlotte. If Tang Yuyan pestered him like an octopus, would he be happy? If he wasn't happy, how could they be together? Tang Yunhai finally spoke, and there was a hint of displeasure in his tone. I know Shintu Tianyin. Charlotte took the blame for her in the past. Not only was she not grateful, but she also divorced Charlotte. Now that Charlotte has become successful and famous, she is playing this trick again. Can she hide what she is thinking from us? Speaking of this, he looked at Xia Changhe. Changhe, don't you think so? Xia Changhe said, I was not optimistic about our boy's marriage with that woman from the beginning. I also specially advised him, but he just didn't listen. She is playing with fire, Tang Tianlong said coldly. What she did can't be erased easily. This woman is not simple, but I'm afraid she has miscalculated if she wants to snatch someone from our Tang family. Zhang Yumei's voice was colder than Tang Tianlong's. The Tang family had been standing for hundreds of years. Which member of the Tang family was simple? Forget it. Don't mention that woman. It's disappointing. Boren said, Old Xia, I think we should be adults about this matter. Yu Yen likes Charlotte, and I can see that Charlotte also likes Yu Yen. But, how should I say it? Charlotte is too outstanding. He is popular with women and has many admirers, Tang Yunhai coughed. Sherboran was stunned for a moment, and then he changed his words. I think it's better to settle this matter as soon as possible so that Charlotte can settle down. He has a heavy burden on his shoulders. The sooner he gets married, the sooner he can settle down. Then he can better do business and serve the country. I say, since both of your parents are here, we might as well settle this marriage. Let's choose a day to have an engagement party. What do you think? Okay, I agree. Tang Tianlong's answer was very simple. Dad. Tang Yuyan gave Tang Tianlong a supercilious look, but she couldn't help smiling. You, a grown girl, can't be kept at home. Zhang Yumei sneered. Are you eager to follow your Uncle Xia to his house right now? This was obviously a hint to tell Xia Changhe that the Tang family was not looking for a son-in-law, but a real daughter. Mom! Tang Yuyan stared at Zhang Yumei innocently, but now she was overjoyed. The people of the Tang family all fixed their eyes on Xia Changhe. Sherboran looked at Xia Changhe. Old Xia, it's your turn. Xia Changhe thought for a moment. That's settled. The date will be, Tang Yunhai laughed heartily. Changhe, leave this matter to me. I'll ask the great master, and let him choose a good day for our children. 1 day is good, 100 days is good. Dad, what are you talking about? Zhang Yumei smiled. 1 day is good, a lifetime is good. Yes. 1 day is good, a lifetime is good. Ah. Tang Yunhai laughed happily. Xia Changhe had a smile on his face, but he sighed in his heart. Son, I made this decision for you. Don't blame me. It's time for you to get married. I know you don't want to, but marrying Tang Yuyan is the best choice. At another table, Long Bing looked away from Tang Yuyan and touched Liang Xiao's thigh. Tell me the truth. Did you call Shintu Tianin? What are you talking about? Liang Xiao lowered her voice. Don't talk nonsense without evidence. I don't want to poke the Tang family's hornet's nest. I saw you making a phone call outside the door. It won't be difficult for me to check that phone number, right? Do you want me to provide you with evidence now? Long Bing said lightly. Liang Xiao lowered her voice. Well, I called Shintu Tianin. I just told Shintu Tianin that Charlotte is going to be engaged to Tang Yuyan. I also told her the time and place, but I didn't say anything else. How would I know that Shintu Tianin will send someone to ruin it? Shintu Tianin is a smart woman. She certainly knows how to stop Charlotte and Tang Yuyan, but what? But it's useless. This time, no one can stop Tang Yuyan and Charlotte from getting engaged. Why? You didn't dare to look at that table just now, but I did. Xia Changhe has promised that Tang Yunhai will choose a date for Charlotte and Tang Yuyan to get engaged. Charlotte won't make things difficult for his father, nor will he disappoint his father. But most importantly, Tang Yuyan is the most suitable woman for Charlotte. You actually think so? Liang Xiao looked at Long Bing with a strange look. Long Bing curled her lip. I also advise you to stop fighting. You couldn't compete with Shintu Tianin back then, and now you can't compete with Tang Yuyan. Don't do something like this again. The Tang family's power is much greater than you can imagine. Given your previous identity, it won't be difficult for them to touch you. Liang Xiao fell silent. Just then, Long Bing said, How many green hats do you think Tang Yuyan has been cuckolded? Liang Xiao. At the same time. In a speeding Rolls-Royce Phantom. Ming Mei, there are no outsiders here. Tell me, how did you know I was here? Charlotte broke the silence in the car. Is that important? Fu Mingmei glanced at Xia Lei, looking a little displeased. It's not very important. I just want to figure it out. Charlotte smiled bitterly. But it doesn't matter if you don't want to tell me. Just pretend I didn't ask. Well, Fu Mingmei hesitated. I called your secretary and she told me. I see. Charlotte didn't think much about it. Tell me, is Tianin's condition serious? Well, she's still unconscious. She's in intensive care. You'll know when you see her, Fu Mingmei said. Then drive faster. Charlotte panicked. Alright. Fu Mingmei replied and stepped on the accelerator. The Rolls-Royce Phantom, which was already going at 100 kilometers per hour, suddenly sped up to 150 kilometers per hour. At another location, Qin Kaiyue finally found the two security guards who didn't pick up her calls. However, they were strolling around the entrance of Weiztag. Zhu Xianyue wasn't with them. What's wrong with you guys? I told you to bring her out to buy toys, but not only did you not pick up my calls, you even lost her. Qin Kaiyue was furious. Her voice could be heard before she even arrived. However, the two security guards didn't seem to hear her. They continued walking on the road as if they were sleepwalking. Hey, didn't you hear what I said? Qin Kaiyue was really angry now. The two security guards still ignored her. Qin Kaiyue walked up and grabbed one of the security guards by the hand. At that moment, a woman's voice came from a sugarcane field by the side of the road. Sweetheart, come here. Qin Kaiyue breathed a sigh of relief when she heard the voice. It was Zhu Xuanyue's. You too, go lie down in the field, Zhu Xianyue said. The two security guards walked down the road and lay down obediently in the sugarcane forest. Qin Kaiyue stared at the two security guards, dumbfounded. But at that moment, her mind went blank and she didn't know what happened. Then, she walked into the sugarcane field. In the sugarcane field, Zhu Xianyue carried a cumin in one hand and a bag of snacks in the other. She had an innocent smile on her face. I'm really hungry. Can you bring me somewhere to eat? Let's go somewhere Uncle Xia doesn't know about, all right? Qin Kaiyue nodded. Go get the car, Zhu Xianyue said with a smile. Also, put your hands on the ignition. Qin Kaiyue turned around blankly and got into the field. Then, she walked towards Thunder Horse Military Factory. As she walked, she took out her phone and switched it off. Zhu Xianyue muttered, Uncle Xia, I don't want to make you angry, but I'm really hungry. I want to eat. Chapter 840. The hospital belonged to the Wanxiang group. Shintu Tianyin was also Shintu Tianyin. She was perfectly fine and had no illness at all. She stood in front of the floor-to-ceiling window of the VIP ward. Her back was slender, and the curves of her waist and buttocks were beautiful and moving. She was still so noble and elegant with a strong aura. Standing in front of the window, she was a scenery in her own right, but it gave people a feeling that they didn't dare to get close to her. Fu Mingmei quietly retreated. Charlotte couldn't help but smile bitterly. He was confused because he was too concerned, but now he understood everything. Why do you have to do this? He said. Shintu Tianyin turned around and looked at Charlotte quietly. A faint mist of tears could be seen in her eyes, as if she had just cried. Charlotte sighed and didn't say anything. What should he say? He didn't know what to say. She used this method to trick him to come here. Could he scold her? After a full 2 to 3 minutes of silence and staring at each other, Shintu Tianyin broke the silence between the two. Didn't you say that you weren't going to get married? Why are you still marrying Tang Yuyan? When did I marry him? Liang Xiao called me and said that you and Tang Yuyan are going to get engaged at Shi Boren's 60th birthday party. You guys are really… Charlotte really wanted to slap himself. He actually believed Fu Mingmei's words and said that she called Qin Kaiyue to find out where he was. It was still the same reason. When he heard that Shintu Tianyin suddenly fainted and was sent to the emergency room, his heart was in a mess. If this was a kind of disease, he was almost in the late stage of love cancer. Judging from Liang Xiao's reaction today, he should be able to guess how Shintu Tianyin knew that the Tang family would force him to get married at the birthday party. A love rival's love rival is a friend. Wasn't it normal for Liang Xiao, who was in a weak position, to contact Shintu Tianyin and borrow Shintu Tianyin's power to stop him from marrying Tang Yuyan? Isn't engagement followed by marriage? The Tang family can't wait any longer. Maybe you'll get your marriage certificate in a few days or half a month. Shintu Tianin's voice was a little hoarse. Am I right? Charlotte didn't know what to say. Why is it that Tang Yuyan can be with you, but you won't give me a chance? She said. Charlotte sighed. The Tang family wants me to be with Tang Yuyan, and my father agrees, but I don't. When Fu Mingmei came, I was about to tell them to think about it, but then she said that you were sick. I wasn't in the mood to talk, so I followed her. You still care about me, don't you? Of course I care about you. Don't do this again. What if one day you really fall sick and I don't believe you? Wouldn't that be terrible? Charlotte said. You can refuse me, but can't you refuse her? Charlotte smiled bitterly. If it was a private occasion, I would refuse. But it was Sherboran's 60th birthday. The Tang family is an ancient family, and they value face more than anything else. If I refused her on such an occasion, wouldn't it be a slap in the face of the Tang family in front of so many people? I could only drag it out, but I couldn't refuse directly. What's more, it involves my wish. The Tang family saw through this, so they used Sherboran's 60th birthday to use your father to force you to marry him. You can avoid it this time, but can you avoid it again? She looked very painful. I'm sure that you left, but your father might have already reached an engagement agreement with the Tang family. What are you going to do? Charlotte felt a headache. On the way here, his mind was full of Shintu Tianin's illness, and he didn't think about this at all. Thinking of Shintu Tianin's words, he really felt that the possibility was almost 80 to 90%. Both parents were willing, and so was Tang Yuyan. His attitude was ambiguous, and it could be interpreted in any way. Under such circumstances, why couldn't both parents make an engagement? This was really troublesome. Say something. What are you going to do? You're forcing me to, Charlotte said. Shintu Tianin wanted to say something but stopped. Charlotte looked straight at her. If you had chosen me instead of the Wanxiang group, would we have come to this point today? Shintu Tianin instantly stiffened, and his heart was filled with shame. Yes, when Charlotte asked her to give up the Wanxiang group and join the Rema group, her marriage wouldn't have broken up at all. She would still be Charlotte's wife, and maybe the mother of a child. And what she lost would also come back, because the market value of the Rema group had now surpassed that of the Wanxiang group. More importantly, the influence and social status of the Rema group in the country and even the world was at least dozens of streets ahead of the Wanxiang group. Her original choice was wrong. Her heart was full of regret, but more than that, she was ashamed. She made that choice, not only letting Charlotte take the blame for her, but also ruthlessly preparing the divorce agreement. Now, to put it bluntly, what right did she have to interfere with Charlotte's love life? Whoever Charlotte was with, and who he wanted to marry, actually didn't need her consent. A bitter smile appeared on the corner of Charlotte's mouth. When I needed you, you chose to leave me and divorce me. Am I your pet? When you want me, you hug and kiss me, and when you don't want me, you throw me aside and let me fend for myself. Shintu Tianin's tears flowed out of her eyes. I loved you, deeply loved you, but because of that hurt, my heart died. Have you decided to marry Tang Yuyan? Shintu Tianin wiped the tears from the corner of her eyes and forced a smile. Yes, I shouldn't have called you over. I was wrong, and I'm already very satisfied that you can forgive me. What else can I hope for? But, do you really love Tang Yuyan? I hope you've thought it through. You've already had a failed marriage, don't have a second one. You know better than me that the Tang family wants political benefits, and the benefits you can bring to the Tang family. Once you marry Tang Yuyan, the Tang family won't be a help to you, but a hindrance to you. Why do you say that? Shintu Tianin snorted coldly. A family that has stood for hundreds of years, how much blood does it take to survive? Tang Yuyan is actually the same kind of woman as me. The only difference between us is that I value my career too much, and she values the family's interests too much. Isn't the Tang family able to survive until now because they have absolute control over their children? She received the Tang family's family-style education since she was young, and those things that live for the family are like brands in her body. Can you hope that her love for you will change that? For some reason, Charlotte recalled the operation in Tawang, Shi province. In the limousine, he and Tang Yuyan were already in a frenzy, and he almost entered her body. But at that time, she was still clear-headed enough to remind him that he needed to be responsible for her, and hinted that he wanted to marry her. Now that he thought about it, when he was weak, he encountered so many difficulties. At that time, the powerful Tang family could easily help him, but did they help him? And if Tang Yuyan really loved him to the extreme, why couldn't she help him? On the contrary, Long Bing, no matter which time it was, she would follow him through life and death without asking for anything in return. A person needs to eat to survive, and to become strong. An ancient family is like this. If it didn't suck blood, it would have been destroyed long ago. It's not that I'm jealous of Tang Yuyan, I'm just giving you advice as your ex-wife. Your father saw the Tang family's power, but he didn't see the nature of the Tang family. Once you marry Tang Yuyan, it's tantamount to placing countless blood-sucking leeches in your body. He. Charlotte suddenly laughed. What are you laughing at? I'm not wrong. Even if I hurt myself now, I won't hurt you, and I won't allow any other woman to hurt you. Shintu Tianyin shouted at Charlotte. That's how love is when it's extreme. You'd rather be hurt than let the person you love be hurt, not even a little bit. Charlotte smiled bitterly. It seems that women understand women the best. We men usually see big breasts, a butt, and a beautiful face. Shintu Tianyin frowned. What you said is very vulgar, but it makes sense. I really can't help it. The Tang family is very smart. First, they used sugar-coated bullets to subdue my father, and now Sherboran also joined in, making things really difficult. If the problem can only be solved by marriage, and I can't marry Tang Yuyan, who do you think is suitable for me to marry? Liang Xiao? Shintu Tianyin shook his head. If you get together with Liang Xiao at this juncture, you'll be killing her. What about Long Bing? She's the same. She's a good person, don't hurt her. What about Jiang Rui? You really have a lot of women. Shintu Tianyin glared at Charlotte. She's weaker. I can't even win over Tang Yuyan, so how can Jiang Rui win? She's a very simple and kind woman. I think she's very satisfied now. Don't change her life anymore. Moreover, she's not on the same level as you. You're already in two different worlds. I bet she hasn't looked for you for a long time, right? She's the kind of woman who will be happy if you visit her when you have time and spend a few days with her. If she becomes the mistress of Rema Group, she won't be happy. Shintu Tianyin was really a very smart woman. She could even analyze such a matter. In the end, there's only one left. Charlotte looked at Shintu Tianyin. Shintu Tianyin looked at Charlotte expectantly. Charlotte took out his cell phone and dialed a number skillfully. When the call was connected, he even put it on speaker. Little Lele, I was just about to call you, and you called. It seems that we really have a telepathic connection. Shintu Tianyin, be serious. I'm talking to you about something serious. Charlotte said. What's the matter? So fierce. Ask the organization to arrange a woman for me. What? Have you taken your medicine? I'm serious. Arrange a woman for me to marry, but not a real marriage. Just a fake marriage. I see. You've been forced by that little girl from the Tang family, haven't you? And my dad. If it weren't for my dad, I wouldn't do this. Then what requirements do you have for the fake marriage? Big breasts and a fat butt. A high position. It's best if there's some skin disease or something. You want to marry me? You don't want to? You have to think about it. You won't get another chance if you miss this opportunity. I'm going to take a 1-inch bareheaded photo now. Wait, Charlotte said, I'll make it clear first. It's a fake marriage. I can be with whoever I want. You have no right to interfere. You make it sound like I've interfered. I also have a request. What is it? Don't think that I'll sleep with you with another woman. That's my bottom line. Charlotte, I'm going to take a photo. Wait for my call, honey. Fan called him honey for the first time. After ending the call, Charlotte let out a long sigh of relief and a smile appeared on his face. Isn't it solved? Is she very strong? Shintu Tianyin said. Charlotte laughed and said, unless the Tang family wants to hurt themselves, they won't find trouble with this woman. Well, I also have to go take a 1-inch bareheaded photo. If there's a wedding, I'll invite you to the wedding banquet. A bitter smile appeared on the corner of Shintu Tianyin's mouth. She watched Charlotte leave. She wanted to stay, but she couldn't say anything. Chapter 841. An hour later, Charlotte returned to the resort. The birthday banquet was over, but the guests hadn't left yet. The guests were drinking tea in the tea house, and some were playing cards. The atmosphere was still very lively. Seeing Charlotte return, Tang Yuyen's face suddenly showed a smile. She greeted him, intimately held Charlotte's arm, and led him into the tea house. Why are you back so soon? Tang Yuyen probed. Is Shintu Tianyin okay? Charlotte smiled. She's fine. She's not sick at all. Not sick? Tang Yuyen said. I knew it. Don't you think I don't know what she's thinking? She must be asking you not to be with me and to remarry her, right? She didn't say that. She just wanted to talk to me. Tang Yuyen raised the corner of her mouth. I don't believe it. You're still speaking up for her. It's true. She even gave us her blessing, said Charlotte. Tang Yuyen was stunned for a moment, and a second later, her pretty face bloomed into a smile. She actually didn't care about Shintu Tianyin's blessing. What made her suddenly extremely happy was Charlotte's words, because this sentence was already a kind of declaration. Originally, she was a little worried that Charlotte wouldn't agree easily, but she didn't expect him to agree so easily and happily. Good things had finally happened. How could she not be excited and happy? After entering the tea house, the guests who were drinking tea in the tea house saw Tang Yuyen and Charlotte walking arm in arm, and suddenly there was a low voice of discussion. I'm afraid the Tang family's girl and Charlotte are together, right? It looks like it's a success. The Tang family's people are really amazing. After settling Charlotte, their future development will be immeasurable. Hey, who doesn't want to marry their daughter to Charlotte now? A few days ago, a friend asked me if I knew Charlotte and wanted to invite Charlotte to a party. My friend's position is not low, and he has a daughter who is about to get married. I heard that she graduated from Harvard. Unfortunately, I'm not familiar with Charlotte at all. Even I am envious that the Tang family managed to snatch such a good opportunity. Who wouldn't be envious? Charlotte was now a national treasure with a bright future. Won't my future be limitless if I marry him? Let's add him to the list. Charlotte is now a person with a net worth of hundreds of billions, and this is just the beginning. Keep your voice down. If the Tang family hears you, they won't be happy. In such a discussion, Tang Yuyen held Charlotte's hand and came to the place where the Tang family gathered to drink tea. Is Shintu Tianyin all right? Zhang Yumei looked very concerned. Charlotte said, It's okay. She's fine. Zhang Yumei smiled. I was so worried. It's good that she's fine. You have a lot of things to do. In the future, you can let Yu Yen deal with such things. You don't have to go there yourself. Women know women better. Some things are easier for women to deal with. Charlotte smiled and said nothing. Lei, sit down, sit down. Tang Tianlong asked Charlotte to sit down, and then called the waiter to come and make tea for Charlotte. Tang Yuyen didn't sit. Instead, she stood beside Charlotte, and her face was full of joy and happiness. Zhang Yumei, as her mother, was also happy to see her expression. She said with a smile, Silly girl, why are you standing there and smiling like a fool? Sit down. Tang Yuyan simply sat on the armrest of Charlotte's rattan chair and said with a smile, "I'll sit here." Her buttocks touched Charlotte's arm, but she didn't care about the eyes of her family and guests. Xia Lei also had a smile on his face, looking very natural. Xia Changhe, who was drinking tea with them, suddenly smiled. "Isn't it done?" He was a little worried that Charlotte wouldn't be willing, but now it seemed that Charlotte was actually willing, so he was relieved. Zhang Yumei said with a smile, "I knew it. Your Charlotte and my Yu Yan are a match made in heaven." She looked at Charlotte with eyes full of love. "Lei, before you leave, we will discuss with your father. We want to pick a good day to hold an engagement party for you. What do you think?" "Okay, no problem," Charlotte said with a smile. "Everything is arranged by Auntie." Tang Yuyan touched Charlotte with her arm and then whispered, "Why are you still calling her Auntie? You have to change the way you address her." Charlotte smiled awkwardly. "I should call her Mom." "Good boy." Zhang Yumei's face was full of smiles, and her heart was very happy. Sherborne laughed and said, "Good things come in pairs today. I'm really happy today. Lei, you didn't drink with me at noon today. We must drink a few more cups tonight." Charlotte was about to agree, but Tang Yuyan said, "Godfather, I don't allow you to make him drink." Sherborne laughed and said, "Oh, you little girl. You haven't even married yet, but you're already helping Lei. What's wrong with me drinking a few cups with him? Today is not your wedding night. It's not a problem for you to be drunk, right? Even if it's your wedding night, I will still make him drunk." "Godfather." Tang Yuyan rolled her eyes at Sherborne and blushed. Sherborne's dirty words brought a burst of laughter. They were all adults and would soon become a family. Such a joke was actually harmless. After chatting for a while, Sherborne received a phone call. Well, well. Sherborne got up and walked to the window. "I will arrange it. She will be fine." It was this sentence that attracted Charlotte's attention. His eyes locked on Sherborne. "Yes, she will be transferred. There is no other way. Her qualifications and achievements are better than Yu Yan's. Well, I think it's a good thing for her to go to a new job. Her position will be higher than now. I will do my best to persuade her," Sherborne said. Although Sherborne's words did not mention Long Bing and Tang Yuyan, Charlotte still understood. He also understood the truth of the confidential document that Long Bing received. Sherborne was about to retire. The new successor would be selected internally in 101 innings. Long Bing's qualifications and achievements were far above Tang Yuyan's. In order for Tang Yuyan to be promoted smoothly, 101 innings would undergo a purge, and the person to be purged was Long Bing. With Long Bing around, even if Tang Yuyan took over Sherborne's position, it would appear unfair. Unfairness would lead to discussion. If there were too many discussions, it would appear unjustifiable. It would make people feel that there was some shady factor in it. Neither Sherborne nor Tang Yuyan wanted to see this. This truth made Charlotte's heart ache. In his heart, Long Bing was the most suitable person to take over Sherborne's position. This was because she had a passionate, patriotic heart. She loved this country and this profession more than anything else. She had made so many contributions. It could even be said that she had used her life and blood to cast her medal of merit. However, in the end, this was the result she got. However, what made him feel even sadder was that he did not think that Sherborne and Tang Yuyan had done anything wrong. This was because such things happened every day in this land. There were too many of them. This was the struggle on the battlefield of power. Fairness and ability were often the things that were least valued. Charlotte originally wanted to find a chance to ask Sherborne, but now it seemed that there was no need. It seems that Long Bing's time in 101 innings is running out. Even if she can complete that task, I'm afraid that Sherborne will transfer her to another department. What should I do to help her? Maybe I should have a good talk with her and see what she thinks. Charlotte thought of this in his heart. His mood also became gloomy. What are you thinking about? Tang Yuyan seemed to have noticed something. No, nothing, Charlotte said. Open your mouth and eat an apple. Tang Yuyan used a toothpick to insert a piece of apple and fed it to Charlotte's mouth. Charlotte bit off the apple and forced a smile on his face. Hee hee. Tang Yuyan laughed happily. From now on, you have to feed me apples every day, okay? Charlotte smiled and nodded. However, his heart seemed to be pricked by a needle. It ached faintly. Tang Yuyan obviously knew the truth, but she would not tell Long Bing, even if she and Long Bing were as close as best friends. She was the eldest daughter of the Tang family and was doted on by everyone. Long Bing, on the other hand, was all alone and could not compete with her. If she couldn't compete, then so be it, but she still had to become a sacrifice for her. She smiled so happily because she had just gained love and would soon reap success in her career. But what about Long Bing? Who would care about her feelings? Who would feel sorry for the hurt and pain she had suffered? Girl, I really spoiled you. I have to criticize you. Zhang Yumei put on a serious expression. After you and Lei Zi are engaged, you are equivalent to his wife. You have to take care of his life, wash his clothes, cook, and so on. Not a single thing can be missing. You can't be like before, or else I will beat you up. Got it, got it. Tang Yuyan curled up her small mouth. You guys only know how to bully me. You are all on his side. My life in the future will be very bitter. Haha, you can't wait for it. Tang Buchuan laughed. Tang Yuyan glared at Tang Buchuan. In the future, I will ask my son not to call you uncle, but idiot. Everyone in the Tang family laughed. But at this moment, a group of people came in from the entrance of the hall. They were all dressed in black suits with red badges on their chests. One person might not be a big deal, but they were all dressed like this, and there were 20 or 30 of them. Their aura was very strong. This group of people was expressionless, and each of them looked very serious. The leader was a middle-aged man in his early 50s. He had a knife-like face and sharp eyes, giving people a dignified and upright feeling. That's not an organization. Some people knew them, but they didn't know why they didn't continue. When this group of people came, the temperature in the hall of the tea-house changed from autumn to heaven, and it was very cold. When Boren, Tang Tianlong, and Tang Yunhai saw this group of people, their expressions froze for a moment, and they looked slightly nervous. Boren, did you invite them? Tang Yunhai asked after a short moment of astonishment. Boren said, No, I didn't invite them. How could I invite these people? Then why are they? Tang Tianlong wanted to say something but stopped on second thought. Just as the three of them were talking, the group of people seemed to have found the person they were looking for, and they strode over. Boren greeted them. Chief Zhou Yu. The person who could make Boren call him chief was very big. The middle-aged leader said, No need to greet us. We are here for Charlotte. Chapter 842. Charlotte. Boren was inexplicably nervous. He didn't say it out loud, but in his heart, he was already thinking, did Charlotte get into some big trouble? The middle-aged man called Officer Zhou stopped talking to Boren and went straight to Charlotte. Almost everyone stood up from their chairs, and Xia Lei was no exception. You must be Charlotte, right? Officer Zhou smiled slightly, and his tone softened a lot. Charlotte nodded with a confused expression. Yes, I am. Why are you looking for me, Officer Zhou? Officer Zhou smiled and said, I'm here to have a heart-to-heart talk with you. A heart-to-heart talk? Yes, a heart-to-heart talk, Officer Zhou said again. Everyone, sit down. Why are you all standing? Please sit down, Officer Zhou. Tang Tianlong moved a rattan chair over for Officer Zhou. Zhang Yumei and Tang Yuyan personally made tea for Officer Zhou and his entourage. They didn't even need a waiter. Please have some tea, Officer Zhou. After making tea, Tang Yuyan carefully put it in front of Officer Zhou. Okay. Officer Zhou just nodded and then started talking to Charlotte. Charlotte, I'm not here to talk about work. I'm here to talk about personal matters. Charlotte said politely, Officer Zhou, please go ahead. Officer Zhou held Charlotte's hand. Don't be so polite with me. Charlotte also held Officer Zhou's hand. You're welcome, you're welcome. But his eyes secretly glanced at the door. Comrade Charlotte, we know about your situation. You've made so many contributions to this country. Few people can match your contributions and your patriotism. Although you're still young, you're already a role model for many of our comrades. Officer Zhou, you told me not to be so polite, but you're actually being so polite. Xiao Lei laughed. You don't have to praise me. I'm just doing my part. All right, let's not stand on ceremony. I'll be frank with you. Yes, Chief Zhou, please go ahead. Well, Chief Zhou paused for a moment. It's like this. The organization has decided that you're not young anymore, but you haven't settled down yet. You're a very important talent in this country. You're usually busy with research and managing Rema Group. You don't have time to date. Zhang Yumei suddenly became nervous and couldn't help but interrupt Chief Zhou. Chief Zhou, actually, Charlotte and our family's Yu Yan have already. Leading Officer Zhou did not wait for Zhang Yumei to finish and interrupted her. I haven't finished yet. Why are you interrupting me? Zhang Yumei wanted to say something but was stopped by a look from Tang Yunhai. Tang Tianlong looked at Charlotte nervously and shook his head at Charlotte, indicating that he should not agree. Charlotte pretended not to see and let Tang Tianlong worry. Tang Yuyan was actually the most nervous and anxious one. She knew about Chief Zhou. Chief Zhou's name was Zhou Yunjing, and he specialized in organizational work. The department he was in was an extremely important one, and he carried a lot of weight. Zhou Yunjing had come to have a heart-to-heart talk with Xiao Lei. The first thing he said was to talk about personal matters, and then Xiao Lei's love life and personal life. If this wasn't a marriage proposal, what was? Organizing matchmaking was an old tradition. It was not used lightly, unless it was someone with special interests. Charlotte obviously met this criteria, but the problem was Charlotte the kind of man who was busy with work and did not even have time to interact with women? After suppressing the Tang family, Zhou Yunjing said, Comrade Charlotte, we feel that you've contributed all your time and energy to the country and have no time to care about your personal problems. We can see it, but we're anxious in our hearts. We can't just ignore this matter, so after careful research, we've found a very suitable person for you. I'm here to ask for your opinion. Xiao Lei looked like he was in a dilemma. Almost everyone in the Tang family shook their heads at him. Don't be embarrassed, you're not young anymore. Zhou Yunjing said with a smile, you actually know that woman. We've talked to her and she was very satisfied, so she agreed. Charlotte said awkwardly, no, I'm actually already with Tang Yi. Zhou Yunjing interrupted Charlotte. That woman was notified by Fanfan, the granddaughter of the head of the Academy of Science, Fan Yiming. Xiao Lei looked as if his jaw had dropped. Comrade Fanfan is an elite of our country. Her grandfather is an old generation scientist and has contributed a lot to the country. She has a healthy mind and is beautiful and generous. We want to see you and her together. It's good for everyone and even for the country's interests. Zhou Yunjing's tone became serious. The Tang family originally wanted to say something, but the words they wanted to say were forcibly stopped by Zhou Yunjing. The Tang family were smart people. Was Zhou Yunjing saying this for Charlotte to hear? No, it was the opposite. This was for the Tang family to hear. Did Charlotte and Fanfan together take the country's interests into consideration? This was like a tall hat, giving people a very fake feeling. But thinking about it carefully, this was the truth. With Fanfan's current status, if Charlotte married her, she would watch over him, subtly influence him, and even control him. How could a woman from an opposing force easily get close to him? Would he easily make a mistake? and as Charlotte's wife, not only would Fan Fan have all the information about Charlotte, but she would also have information about Rema Group. This was very important to the country. To put it bluntly, rather than introducing a partner to Charlotte, it was better to say that they were sending a housekeeper to Charlotte. Rema Group was about to become a super-military enterprise like Lockheed Martin Corporation. It was obvious how important it was to the country. So, if they were to send a housekeeper to Charlotte, how could they not send an elite from the core circle? In fact, what Zhou Yunjing didn't say was that the Tang family could cool off to the side. Chief Zhou, I actually... Charlotte braced himself and said, I'm actually already dating Tang Yuyan. How can I be with Fan Fan? We're just normal friends. There's no basis for feelings. Charlotte's words made the Tang family sigh in relief. Tang Yuyan's mouth also revealed a trace of a smile. She knew Charlotte's temper very well. As long as he didn't want to do something, no one could persuade him. This was also why the Tang family spent so much time softening Xia Changhe. Without Xia Changhe's nod, would Charlotte give in today? That was impossible. But just as the Tang family was slightly relieved, Zhou Yunjing added, if there's no relationship, it can be slowly cultivated. As for Tang Yuyan, we'll talk to her about it. You don't have to worry about this. This sentence was like a bucket of cold water poured over the Tang family's heads. With Zhou Yunjing's tone, this wasn't an arrangement that Charlotte could refuse, and it wasn't a matter of whether the Tang family was willing to or not. In the face of national interests, even if 10 Tang families were to join forces, they wouldn't be able to crush them, let alone just one Tang family. Zhang Yumei was anxious again. Officer Zhou, our Yu Yan can also do the work that the organization has arranged. Why does it have to be Fan Fan? Our Yu Yan? Zhou Yunjing interrupted Zhang Yumei again. I say, what's wrong with this female comrade of yours? Haven't I made myself clear enough? Why do you have to interrupt me? Tang Tianlong fiercely glared at Zhang Yumei, looking very annoyed. Zhang Yumei was alert and shut her mouth. I don't agree. Tang Yuyan couldn't control her emotions anymore. Who would arrange a partner like this? Who would consider her feelings? Zhou Yunjing frowned. Comrade Tang Yuyan, how can you ignore the big picture like this? It seems that you have to do your job properly. I just don't agree. Tang Yuyan was so angry that she was about to cry. Yu Yan. Sure, Boren shouted, be quiet. Look at the situation now. You have to consider the big picture. This sentence was like a stick to the head, waking Tang Yuyan up. She was about to become the director of the 101 Bureau. This was extremely important to her and the entire Tang family. If she went against the higher-ups because of this, she wouldn't be able to take over this job at all. And this was the best outcome. She didn't dare to imagine the worse outcome. In front of the interests of the family, Tang Yuyan kept her mouth shut, but her heart was filled with hatred and grievance. Officer Zhou, about this. Xia Lei began to speak. He sounded extremely reluctant. Zhou Yunjing smiled and said, this is a good thing, don't refuse. Come with me, we have arranged a meeting between you and Comrade Fan Fan. She is already waiting for you. Let's go, let's go. Zhou Yunjing simply grabbed Charlotte's hand and pulled Charlotte away. Charlotte turned around and looked at Tang Yuyan. Tang Yuyan's tears suddenly flowed out. Charlotte sighed in his heart, but he didn't feel guilty. It was said that love was the most beautiful thing in the world, but that kind of pure love didn't exist at all. How could real love not be mixed with 7 emotions and 6 desires? When there were too many desires mixed in, love was no longer pure love. Sometimes it was involuntary, sometimes it was a compromise, sometimes it was a partnership, sometimes it was an accident, sometimes it was a deal. He used this method to solve his own problem, but he hurt Tang Yuyan. Sometimes love was a double-edged sword. Not only would it hurt the one you love, but it would also hurt yourself. Charlotte was pulled away. Tang Yunhai looked at Xia Changhe with a gloomy face. Xia Changhe sighed softly and turned to leave. No one asked him to stay. A good thing was ruined just like that. Who would be in the mood to talk to Xia Changhe? I don't agree. Tang Yuyan finally exploded. She kicked over the chair that Charlotte had been sitting on. She was still angry, so she slapped the tea that she had made for Zhou Yunjing. The teacup fell to the ground and broke into pieces. This teacup was like the marriage between her and Charlotte broken. Zhang Yumei held Tang Yuyan in her arms and comforted her. Don't cry, as long as Charlotte is not willing, this will not happen. You should do more work for Charlotte, he will not agree. Tang Yuyan buried her head in Zhang Yumei's chest and started sobbing. Chapter 843. Charlotte thought that leaving the resort would be the end, but he didn't expect that it was just the beginning. The organization really arranged a blind date for him and Fanfan, and the location was in a conference room at the Academy of Sciences. The three of them sat together, and there was a plate of melon seeds, fruits, and sugar on the coffee table, but no one tasted it. Zhou Yunjing first did some ideological work for Charlotte, and then for Fanfan. He was very serious when he was doing the ideological work for Charlotte, but when he was doing the ideological work for Fanfan, he felt a little perfunctory. Well, does Fanfan still need to do any ideological work? Marriage was such a big thing, and Charlotte settled it with a phone call. Comrade Charlotte, you see, this is a very good beginning. Zhou Yunjing said with a smile. A momentary impulse, that is not love. True love is slowly cultivated. Not only can it withstand the test of blood and fire, but it also can withstand the test of time. I am especially optimistic about you and Fanfan being together. You are a patriotic young man, and Fanfan is a patriotic young woman. After the two of you get together, you will have a patriotic baby. Isn't that perfect? Charlotte, Fanfan looked a little shy. She lowered her head, and her jade dimples were slightly red. It was difficult to hide the joy and excitement in her vast eyes. Comrade Fanfan, don't just be shy. What do you want to say to Comrade Charlotte? Zhou Yunjing reminded the silent woman. Only then did Fanfan raise her head, and she said a little bashfully, Chief Zhou, you are here. Zhou Yunjing suddenly came to his senses, and he stood up as well. I remember, I still have a very important meeting to attend. You guys talk, don't be restrained. It is the 21st century now, and you guys have to be more open-minded. Well, you can also be more open-minded in your thinking and behavior. Fanfan, to her, what part of Xiaolei had not opened up to her yet? And for Charlotte, what part of her was not open to him? The relationship between the two of them was like a new bottle of old wine, so there was no need for Zhou Yunjing to remind him. Zhou Yunjing left. Charlotte glanced at the door. After confirming that there was no one outside, he asked, What's going on? Fanfan rolled her eyes at him. What do you mean, what's going on? Isn't that what you want? Yeah, that's what I wanted, but I didn't expect it to be so grand. Charlotte still felt that it was a little exaggerated. Do you mean Officer Zhou? Fanfan said, If I don't ask Officer Zhou, can I control the Tang family? Does leading Cadre Zhou know that our marriage is fake? Charlotte asked tentatively. I don't know. Fanfan shook her head seriously. Does the organization know about it? I don't know either. Fanfan rolled her eyes at him again. Comrade Charlotte, did you forget to bring your brain? If I say that you want to have a fake marriage with me, and then ask leading Cadre Zhou to propose to you, will he come? He will definitely scold me. Charlotte, in fact, he just wanted Fanfan to come forward and take him away from the resort. But he didn't expect that Fanfan actually invited such a big shot, and even alarmed the organization to send out the strongest matchmaking team in history. With this, he certainly got rid of the trouble of the Tang family, but it would be difficult to deal with the aftermath if the big shot was alarmed. Comrade Charlotte, the organization wants us to date. What do you think of me? One of Fanfan's jade feet escaped from the high-heeled shoes, and she gently put it on Charlotte's thigh. Fortunately, she was wearing trousers. Otherwise, her movement would expose her breast. But even if it was just a pair of trousers, that sacred and mysterious place was vaguely revealed under the tight fabric. It was a little fat, a shy little fat. But Charlotte was not in the mood at all. He said with a wry smile, Fan, stop it. I'm upset. If you don't want to marry me, then I'll go and tell leading cadre Zhou right now and ask him to matchmake you and Tang Yuan, okay? She folded her long legs, put on her shoes, and got up. It seemed that she was really going to explain the situation to leading cadre Zhou. Charlotte grabbed her hand. I'm really not in the mood to joke with you. I've had a terrible day. Let me go. Let me go. Fan pretended to struggle. Charlotte was a little annoyed. He waved his hand and slapped on Fanfan's full moon. The plump and greasy part suddenly rippled. But just because of this slap, the woman with a special physique moaned. Instead of leaving, she put her arms around Charlotte's waist and kissed Charlotte's lip. She was sensitive and anxious, and Charlotte was also a little confused. After a few minutes, Fan let go of Charlotte and said breathlessly, although it's fake, I'm also happy. Why? Although it's fake, my child has a father. Shouldn't I be happy? She said. Charlotte was stunned. You have a father? Fan hesitated for a moment, but still nodded gently. Although there is still some time before the 1-month period, I have done relevant experiments and examinations. Basically, I can be sure. Do you know that your little tadpole is so abnormal? It actually swam into my body during the safe period. As soon as my one came out, they combined. It is like a powerful present lurking there. As soon as my queen comes out of the palace, it snatches me away. But Charlotte was still stunned. No wonder he settled Fan with one phone call. She was pregnant with his child. If he proposed to marry her, was there any possibility that she would say no? From his point of view, the wedding day was a real fake marriage. But for Fan, as long as the marriage certificate was real, it was enough. Now it seemed that it was all God's will. She is pregnant with my child. We will soon become husband and wife in the legal sense. In the future, when the child grows up, how can I divorce her? Charlotte suddenly began to think about this problem. In one day, he experienced a breakup, a blind date, preparing for marriage, and also got the news that he was going to be a father. At the same time, he was thinking about how to divorce in the future. In this world, only Charlotte had such a bizarre experience. Are you not happy? Charlotte did not smile. Fan was a little nervous. Only then did Charlotte come back to his senses. He showed a smile. Of course I am happy. I have always wanted a child. I just didn't expect it to be so soon. It feels a little sudden. Are you surprised? Surprise. Fan moved closer to his ear. During this period you can still touch me. After a while, you won't be able to touch me. I think Charlotte was surprised. Here. Comrade Charlotte. Fan bit Charlotte's earlobe. It is the 21st century now. You have to open your mind and behavior. Charlotte smiled. He picked her up and put her on the conference table. He would think about divorce later. He had thought about too many problems today. He did not want to think about it anymore. It was already evening when he left the Academy of Science. The streets of the capital were bustling and lively. All kinds of people and desires were entangled together. This was the flavor of the city. Charlotte took out his phone and dialed Qing Tsayue's number. The user you dialed is powered off. A system voice prompt came from the phone. Charlotte frowned. I told her to wait for my call and bring Zhu Xianwei to my side at any time. Why did she turn off her phone? This was not normal. Charlotte then dialed Qin Xiang's number. Qin Xiang, have you seen Qin Kaiyue? No, she went out early in the afternoon. She hasn't come back yet. Qin Xiang said. What about Zhu Xianyue? I haven't seen her. Did something happen? Charlotte suddenly had an ominous premonition and became nervous. Qin Xiang, don't ask. Immediately bring people to find Qin Kaiyue and Zhu Xianyue. Call me whether you find them or not. And okay. I will go now. Qin Xiang hung up the phone. After ending the call, a thought flashed in Charlotte's mind. Could it be that the black-robed man chased her to China? The only person who could hurt Zhu Xianyue was the black-robed man. Now that Zhu Xianyue and Qin Kaiyue had lost contact at the same time, this possibility was not impossible. Ring ring ring, ring ring ring. While he was thinking, his phone suddenly rang. Xia Lei did not even have time to take a closer look at the number before answering the call. Hello. Did you find them? Found what? Brother, did you lose anything? It was Ling Hao's voice. Xia Lei paused for a moment, then calmed down in the blink of an eye. So it's Brother Ling. I thought it was one of my employees calling. He lost a very important blueprint, and I was about to scold him. I'm sorry, I didn't notice it was you. What's there to be sorry about? You and I can bury the hatchet. Don't be so polite in the future. I used to treat you as a brother, and I will treat you as a brother in the future. Brother Ling, I have always treated you as my brother. He. Tell me, where are you? Ling Hao said. What? Have you forgotten? Today at Sherborne's birthday party, we agreed to find a place to have a good drink. Chief Yu has been waiting for you to call. Ling Hao said. Of course, Charlotte didn't forget. At Sherborne's birthday party, he did make an appointment with Ling Hao and Yu Shanhe. He also had a plan to deal with Yu Shanhe and Ling Hao. But that plan was based on Zhu Xuanyue's ability. Now that Zhu Xianyue was missing, what was the use of making an appointment with Yu Shanhe and Ling Hao? I'm really sorry. You see, something happened to my company. I suspect that there are commercial spies. Maybe there are hostile forces involved. Such a serious situation, I have to rush back to investigate and deal with it. Let's do this another day. Let's meet again another day. Xia Lei's tone was very sincere. Ling Hao's tone was a little displeased. It doesn't matter. I'm really in trouble. How about this, I will personally come to you and Chief Yu and I will apologize to Chief Yu in person. What do you think? Charlotte said. Well, you go ahead with your work. I'll wait for your call. Brother Ling, please tell Chief Yu that I'm sorry and that I, Charlotte, am not a stupid person. It's better to have a friend than an enemy. Do you understand what I mean? Of course I understand. It's good that you think so. Well, another day. Ling Hao hung up the phone. A sneer appeared at the corner of Charlotte's mouth. Another day? You'll go to hell. What happened to Zhu Xianyue and Qin Kaiyue? He came back to this question. Just then, a few police cars suddenly whizzed past him, followed by a few SWAT SUVs that sped past. The SWAT SUVs were filled with fully armed SWAT officers, as well as snipers. This was a formation that indicated that something big had happened. Ring ring, ring ring ring, his cell phone suddenly rang again. Chapter 844. Where are you? It was Long Bing's voice. Charlotte looked out of the car window and glanced at the road sign. I'm near the Academy of Sciences. Yes, Pingon Street. There's a Walmart next to me. Wait for me, I'll be right there. Long Bing hung up the phone. Charlotte sat in the car and waited, but he was worried about Qin Kaiyue and Zhu Xianyue. He wanted to call Qin Xiang to ask about the situation, but in the end, he didn't call. He trusted Qin Xiang. If Qin Xiang found any clues, she would definitely call him immediately. Qin Xiang didn't call, which meant that there were no clues. Even if he called, it would be useless. A few minutes later, Long Bing drove over, 2 minutes faster than the 10 minutes she said. Long Bing parked her car on the side of the road. She walked to the driver's side of Charlotte's Chevrolet Suburban. You go to the front passenger seat, I'll drive. Charlotte didn't go to the door. He climbed directly from the driver's seat to the front passenger seat. Long Bing got in the car, started the car, and drove away. You were nearby? Charlotte asked curiously. What happened? Long Bing said with a solemn expression, a very strange thing happened at a health club. I got the information that everyone in the health club died. A total of 25 people. Charlotte was shocked. So many people died? How did they die? I don't know. The initial suspicion is that it was a terrorist attack. The terrorists seem to have used the latest nerve gas. Nerve gas? I don't know the specific situation, but that's what the information said. Did the 101 innings send you to investigate alone? Of course not. Liang Xiao and Tang Yuyan were also dispatched. Long Bing said, They're probably already there. I specially came to pick you up. What can I do? This is what Boss sure wants. He wants you to help with the investigation. Long Bing glanced at Charlotte and said, Tang Yuyan was supposed to pick you up, but she didn't want to. Charlotte smiled bitterly. After what had happened, she was probably still angry. How could she come to pick him up? Thinking that he was going to see her soon, his head started to hurt. Long Bing changed the topic. I didn't expect that the higher-ups would want to matchmake you and Fanfan. But this is good. If you marry Fanfan, Tang Yuyan and Shintu Tianyin won't have to fight. That senior sister of yours won't have any more fantasies. You'll have more peace and quiet. What about you? Charlotte looked at her face. He wanted to know what she was thinking. Me? Long Bing smiled. I'm happy for you. If you marry a woman like Fanfan, I'm afraid that people who want to deal with you in the future will have to think twice. Rema Group needs a female boss with influence, and Fanfan is the most suitable candidate. She can help you deal with those ghosts and monsters so you can do what you want to do with peace of mind. I guess the higher-ups have also considered this. Charlotte leaned over to her ear and told her what had happened. Long Bing was stunned for a moment and then said, A woman is willing to help you like this because she really wants to marry you. Whether it's fake or real, I'm afraid she doesn't care. However, Tang Yuyan is a very proud woman. After something like this happened, she's lost face. If you have the chance, you should persuade her and comfort her. She really likes you. This time, she's really hurt. Does she know that you're so good to her? I'll be satisfied if she doesn't argue with me. I don't expect anything. She's a rich young lady. I can understand her temper. Then do you know that the secret mission you received this time is actually… Charlotte hesitated for a moment, but in the end he said, It's actually to get rid of you from 101 innings for her to take over Boss Sher's job. Jie Gu. The Chevrolet Suburban suddenly stopped on the side of the road. Long Bing's hands tightly gripped the steering wheel as her silver teeth tightly bit her lips. Although she didn't say anything, Charlotte could see the anger and grievance in her eyes. Charlotte wanted to comfort her, but he swallowed the words back. He reached out and grabbed Long Bing's hand that was holding the steering wheel. He just held on. Do. The communication device suddenly rang. Long Bing came back to her senses. She took a deep breath, then picked up the communication device and said, I'm Long Bing. Please speak if you receive this. I'm Liang Xiao. Liang Xiao's voice came from the communication device. Why aren't you guys here yet? Where are you? We're on the road. We'll be right there. As she spoke, Long Bing stepped on the gas pedal, and the Chevrolet Suburban was back on the road. This was Long Bing. Even if she was pushed aside by her good friends, even if she was wronged, the first thing she thought of was still work and fight for the country. 10 minutes later, the Chevrolet Suburban arrived at a fitness center. The street was already blocked off by the police, but even the cordon couldn't stop the curiosity of the onlookers. The two ends of the street and the opposite side were full of people watching the show. It was a big black mass. Long Bing brought Charlotte into the fitness center. Liang Xiao and Tang Yuyan were already there. Tang Yuyan stared at Charlotte, her eyes fierce. Charlotte braced himself and greeted, Yu Yen Xiao, you're here. Liang Xiao smiled at Charlotte. Tang Yuyin glared at Charlotte. Charlotte said, Yu Yen, I don't want to, but… You don't want to? Tang Yuyin's eyes were filled with tears. I think you can't wait. The higher-ups want to introduce Fanfan to you. That woman is beautiful, and her position is higher than mine. You must be very happy. You found a good wife, right? Charlotte smiled bitterly. He didn't want to quarrel with Tang Yuyin. He felt a little guilty, but it wasn't very strong. If he didn't know that she and Sherborne were going to push Long Bing out of the 101 innings, this feeling of guilt might be stronger. Why don't you tell me? Tang Yuyin looked annoyed. Long Bing said, You too, that's enough. Look at the situation now. If you want to quarrel, go outside. Tang Yuyin glared at Charlotte again, but she didn't quarrel with Charlotte anymore. In front of the fitness center, Charlotte saw the victims through the closed glass window. Some of them were lying on the ground, while others were still sitting on the fitness equipment. Most of the victims were men, and only 2 were women. Regardless of whether they were men or women, they were all very strong, including the 2 women who had very developed muscles. Liang Xiao said, This is a very professional fitness center. These victims were all contestants who were going to participate in a bodybuilding competition. Charlotte's eyes swept over the fitness center, and then he said, There are no traces of a struggle here. Are you sure this was a terrorist attack? And what kind of nerve gas? Long Bing said, 101 innings has a team that predicts and evaluates emergencies. The statement of a terrorist attack and nerve gas was given by Transparency, but it's not confirmed yet. Some experts have already taken samples of the air in the fitness center, and they'll give us the results soon. Tang Yuyin reached out to open the door. Charlotte suddenly grabbed her hand. What are you doing? How can I investigate standing here? Tang Yuyin said, I want to go in and take a look. The test results haven't come out yet. If there really is nerve gas, you'll end up like those people when you go in. Charlotte said, You care about me? I don't need your concern. Tang Yuyin shouted at Charlotte, Let me die. Xiaolei's head was about to explode. Liang Xiao glanced at Long Bing, and there was a hint of a smile at the corner of her mouth, but Long Bing's face was cold. At this time, an expert in a protective suit came over. The test results are out, but what? Long Bing said anxiously. The air is normal, there is no nerve gas, the expert said. Charlotte let go of Tang Yuyin's hand. Since there was no nerve gas, there was no need for him to hold her. Long Bing pushed open the glass door and went in. Charlotte followed her in. Liang Xiao went in and looked back at Tang Yuyin, who was still standing there in a daze, and said, Didn't you want to go in? Let's go. Tang Yuyin went in. The air in the training hall was normal, and there was no strange or special smell. There were also no signs of a struggle, and everything seemed normal. The people who died here did not have a painful expression, and all of them looked very quiet. It gave people the feeling that the people here had suddenly died at some point, and all of them. If it was only one person, it could be said to be a sudden accident. But there were as many as 25 people who had died, and this matter was very strange. There was no gunshot, no struggle, and no nerve gas. Long Bing frowned. How did these people die? Liang Xiao shook her head. I don't know, I have a trace expert on the scene, and let them look for traces and clues. She used the communicator to call someone. Lei, what do you think? Long Bing looked at Charlotte and asked. Charlotte said, I don't know, I'll take a look first. He walked over to one of the corpses. The corpse was lying on a sit-up machine, and he was still in a sit-up position. Charlotte quietly activated his left eye's zoom-in and X-ray vision. He first looked at the ground around the corpse, and when he did not find anything, he moved his gaze to the head of the deceased. When a person died suddenly, there were usually 2 reasons. Either there was a problem with the heart, or there was a problem with the brain. He used his X-ray vision to look into the brain of the deceased. At that moment, Charlotte's whole body froze. The brain of the deceased had shrunk, and there was only a black and dry piece of brain tissue the size of a fist in the brain. The cause of death of this deceased was the same as that of the members of the expert team. Charlotte then moved to another corpse and used his X-ray vision on the head of the deceased, and the result was the same. What did you find? Long Bing walked over. Charlotte was about to say something, but then he reacted and shook his head. There's no trace at all. Once these corpses were dissected, Long Bing would definitely know how these people died. However, if he said it now, it would be a different matter. How could he see the brain of the deceased when others could not see it? 101 innings trace experts entered the scene to take samples. Tang Yuyan walked to Charlotte's side. There's nothing to do here. Let's go out, I want to talk to you. Charlotte was about to agree when his phone suddenly rang. Wait a minute, let me take this call. Charlotte took out his phone and was stunned when he saw it. The screen showed Qing Tsayue's name and number. Hello? Where did you go just now? Where are you now? Charlotte's first sentence after picking up the phone. I'm at your house, helping you look after that naughty child. Qing Tsayue's voice had a hint of complaint. You don't know how naughty she is. She actually ran to the mountains. In order to find her, I even cut my dress. Charlotte heaved a sigh of relief and then interrupted Qing Kaiyue. That's it, I'll talk when I come back. Wait, let me finish. What else? She fell into the water and seemed to have caught a cold, but she refused to go to the hospital with me. I just touched her head and she seemed to have a fever. I can't control her. Come back quickly and take a look. Qing Kaiyue said. I'll be right back. Charlotte hung up the phone. Tang Yuyan's eyes had a hint of bitterness. Now you don't even have time to talk to me? No, I really have something urgent. I have to rush back. Tomorrow, let's talk tomorrow. Charlotte said as he walked. Chapter 845. The moonlight was dim and Peace House was silent. But there was one place that was not quiet. Woof woof woof, woof woof woof. A woman's barking came from behind the door, crisp and seductive. Isn't she sick? Why is she playing this dog training game again? Charlotte's curiosity was piqued. He stood at the door for a few seconds before pushing it open. When the door opened, a beautiful scene greeted him. Qing Kaiyue was kneeling on the ground, her hands on the ground. A red rope was tied around her neck, and she had a ham sausage in her mouth. She looked like a beautiful dog. The last time he saw her acting like a dog, she was only kneeling on the ground and barking like a dog. She was also wearing clothes. But this time, she didn't even have a thread on her body, and she even used a prop. That mysterious scenery, that seductive posture, how many men in the world could resist it? Charlotte was dumbfounded. Did the game level up? Qing Kaiyue didn't turn around. She knelt by the bed, and her mouth made a woo-woo sound. Her big white ball swayed back and forth. It was no longer a matter of whether or not it was exposed, it was a matter of when the nosebleed would come out. It was this kind of mysterious scenery that made the fabric of Charlotte's pants shrink. He wanted to control it, but he couldn't. Zhu Xianyue was lying on the bed, covered with a blanket. She had a thermometer in her mouth and a towel on her forehead. She really looked like she was sick. Pig Xia. Zhu Xianyue had a thermometer in her mouth, and her words were unclear. She called him uncle instead of pig. Charlotte entered the room and closed the door. Woof woof woof. Qing Kaiyue suddenly threw away the ham sausage in her mouth, and turned around to crawl towards Charlotte. Her crawling speed couldn't compare to a real dog, but it was definitely better than any dog in the world. Her snow-white skin swayed, and Charlotte suddenly felt his mouth go dry. Woof woof. Qing Kaiyue crawled to Charlotte's feet, opened her mouth, and bit Charlotte's trousers. Then, she retreated with a fierce look as if she was going to tear Charlotte's trousers apart. Charlotte didn't know whether to laugh or cry, but he didn't dare to lift his foot for fear of hurting her teeth. He reached out and touched Qing Tsayue's head. Let go, stop fooling around. Woof woof woof. Qing Kaiyue barked again. She suddenly loosened her pants and bit Charlotte's finger. Charlotte hurriedly withdrew his hand and dodged at the same time. He said, Xianyu, didn't you hear what I said? Stop fooling around. Zhu Xianyu took away the thermometer and said lazily, I thought you were talking to her. Do you want me to change her back? Charlotte was about to say yes, but then he changed his mind. Wait a minute, can you make her quiet? Zhu Xianyu giggled and said, Uncle Xia, you're so bad. Do you want to see her butt? Charlotte glared at her. I want to see your butt. I have something to say to you, but she can't listen. Zhu Xianyu then said to Zhu Xianyu, Good dog, go to sleep. Qing Kaiyue obediently lay on the carpet and closed her eyes to sleep. It was very strange that she fell asleep in the blink of an eye. When Xia Lei saw this, although he could still maintain his composure on the surface, his heart was already in a state of turmoil. With this kind of ability, who can survive if he wants to die? I should have been able to kill you Shanhe and Ling Hao tonight, but unfortunately. Uncle Xia, didn't you want to talk to me? Say something. Zhu Xianyu interrupted Charlotte's thoughts. Charlotte walked to the bedside, but before he could sit down, an oppressive cold suddenly attacked him. It felt like he had suddenly traveled from the capital in autumn to Bing City in winter. The cold air seemed to have a penetrating power, passing through his body in an instant. That feeling was not only physically uncomfortable, but also psychologically fearful. Charlotte's gaze suddenly moved to the thermometer in Zhu Xuanyue's hand. He found that the mercury on the thermometer was curled up into a ball and did not rise at all. He was confused. Qing Kaiyue said that she had a fever, but she was not having a fever. She was freezing ice cream. Secretary Qing said that you fell into the ditch, fell sick, and had a fever. Did she check on you? Charlotte looked straight at Zhu Xianyu. Yes, she checked on me. She was also the one who called you. Zhu Xianyu said, blinking her big black eyes. Is your condition a fever? I don't know. It's not like I said it. Zhu Xianyu said, then she pointed to Qing Kaiyue who was lying on the carpet. If you don't believe me, you can ask her. Ask Qing Kaiyue? Zhu Xianyu could control Qing Tsayue's brain at any time. Who could tell which sentence was Qing Tsayue's and which sentence was Zhu Xuanyue's? No need. Charlotte probed, Where did you go today? In the mountains. I even fell into the river. Zhu Xianyu said. Really? Zhu Xianyu pouted her small mouth. I fell into the river and got sick. You don't even care about me and ask me so many questions. I don't want to come. What? Woo-woo, she cried as soon as she said she would. Her tears fell one after another. Don't cry, don't cry. Aren't I caring about you? If I didn't care about you, why would I ask you these questions? As he spoke, Charlotte's left eye twitched slightly. The vision of his left eye was like a drill that rushed into Zhu Xuanyue's head. Below the skull was normal brain tissue. After passing through the normal brain tissue and reaching the core area, a faintly glowing energy substance entered Charlotte's vision. The scene startled him. Compared to the first time he saw them, the number and strength of the creatures had obviously increased. Moreover, a small part of them seemed to be showing signs of waking up. It was a slightly active state. Uncle Xia, what do you want to see? Zhu Xianyu suddenly looked at Charlotte cautiously. Charlotte's left eye suddenly hurt slightly. The glowing energy substance in his left eye suddenly disappeared and was replaced by darkness. It was so thick that it couldn't be dispersed. It was like the starry sky without stars. It was like a black hole. What was going on? Charlotte's heart was filled with shock. This was the first time his X-ray vision was interrupted by an external force. Uncle Xia, what do you want to see? Zhu Xianyu asked the same question. Charlotte shook his head. Nothing. What do you think I am looking at? Zhu Xianyue revealed an innocent smile. You are looking at me. You are a bad uncle. Just now, you were staring at Aunt Qing's butt. Charlotte, Zhu Xianyue suddenly lifted the quilt. The quilt covering her body was like a quilt that had been stored in the freezer for a few days. When she lifted it, it was like a piece of foam board that slid down from her body. Poochie! Charlotte almost spat out a mouthful of blood. There was not a single thread on her body. All the beauty and mysteriousness were laid bare at a glance. Whether it was her height, curves, measurements, proportions, or overall coordination, even if the world's most picky beauty pageant expert came to evaluate her, he wouldn't be able to find a single flaw. Perfect. There is no perfect person in this world. But she was perfect. However, what made Charlotte shocked like a celestial being, and unable to close his eyes, was her skin. It was as if her skin was carved out of ice jade. It was crystal clear, as if he could see through her skin and muscles. But that was an illusion. It was just a kind of mysterious texture. It was like a beautiful jade. Zhu Xianyue suddenly pulled the foam board quilt over to cover her body. You are a bad uncle, right? You stared straight at me. You will get a needle eye. Charlotte came back to his senses. He suddenly reached out his hand and grabbed Zhu Xianyue's wrist. A bone-chilling cold suddenly came. But his body also had a super-strong thermostat. In a blink of an eye, he adapted to that extremely strange cold. Uncle Xia, what are you doing? You are hurting me. Zhu Xianyue showed a pitiful look. Charlotte seriously said, Xianyue, tell me the truth. Where did you go today? In the mountains. Zhu Xianyue was also angry. Her eyes flashed a touch of cold light. I have already told you twice. Don't ask me again. A mountain of pressure and a sense of crisis suddenly attacked his heart. Charlotte instinctively let go of her hand and took a step back. Zhu Xianyue returned to normal. She showed a very wronged expression. Uncle Xia, don't scold me. Don't hit me. I will listen to you in the future. Okay? The one who was scared was actually Charlotte, not her. Charlotte was silent for a moment. Xianyue, promise me. Be a good person. Don't be a bad person. I won't allow you to do anything bad. Do you understand? Zhu Xianyue nodded her head. In the future, don't let Secretary Qing become a dog. Do you understand? Charlotte said. I don't want to play tricks on her. But she bullied me. She bullied me. I turned her into a dog. Zhu Xianyue said. How did she bully you? She said I was disobedient. She even spanked me. Charlotte smiled bitterly. He asked Qing Kaiwei to teach Zhu Xianyue etiquette. She must have been disciplined. But Zhu Xianyue was simply a little devil. How could she obey her discipline? It seemed that he really couldn't let Qing Kaiwei come into contact with Zhu Xianyue in the future. Otherwise, one day she would be played to death. That's it. Charlotte said. I'll ask you one last question. What's wrong with your body? Why is it so cold? I don't know. I just ate something and it's like this. It's very uncomfortable. Zhu Xianyue blinked her big black eyes. Uncle Xia, I'm so cold. Can you come and sleep with me? Well, I take back what I said just now. If you look at my body, you will get needles. Charlotte glared at her. Don't talk nonsense. That's it. Turn Secretary Qing back and let her sleep. Zhu Xianyue responded obediently. Qing Kaiwei suddenly got up from the ground. She untied the rope around her neck. Then, she picked up the clothes and underwear on the ground and put them on one by one. After putting on her clothes, Qing Kaiwei walked to the door. She opened the door and left in a daze. You sleep too. Good night. Charlotte also left Zhu Xianyue's room. When he went out, Charlotte saw Qing Kaiwei enter the guest room that was reserved for her. Until she entered the room, she didn't look back. The moonlight was still hazy, and the autumn wind was blowing. Charlotte looked at the vast starry sky. His mind kept thinking about the dead bodybuilders and Zhu Xuanyue's strange situation tonight. Tonight was destined to be another sleepless night. Chapter 846. The afternoon sun was warm and genial. Tang Yuyan drove to Lei Ma Jun's factory. In the parking lot, she saw a very ordinary Hongqi sedan and a serious-looking female driver sitting in the driver's seat. She frowned. Although she wasn't sure if it was the woman's car, a woman's intuition was very sensitive. Is it her? She's so shameless. Tang Yuyan cursed in her heart. She was also a little hesitant, but in the end, she entered the office building and walked to Charlotte's office. In the corridor, Tang Yuyan met Qin Kaiwe, who was going to the workshop with a document. Qin Kaiwe greeted her. Hey, isn't this Miss Tang? Are you here for Chairman Xia? Wait a minute, I'll inform you right away. Tang Yuyan said, There's no need for that. You can go about your business. I'll go find him myself. Well, I'm going to work. Qin Kaiwe brushed past her. Wait. Tang Yuyan stopped Qin Kaiwe. Is there a guest in Chairman Xia's office? Yes, Miss Fan is here, Qin Kaiwe said. What is she doing here? Miss Fan stewed chicken soup for our Chairman Xia. She specially brought chicken soup for our Chairman Xia. Qin Kaiwe said with a smile. Oh, Miss Fan is so gentle and considerate. She sent chicken soup from so far away. Chairman Xia is really lucky. These words were like a needle that pierced Tang Yuyan's heart, but she pretended not to care. She smiled and said, Go ahead. I'm going. Qin Kaiwe walked into the stairway and looked back at Tang Yuyan's back. Then, she quickly took out her cell phone and typed a text message. High energy warning, ex-fiancé is here. A second later, Charlotte put down his cell phone in the office and smiled bitterly. How dare she flirt with me? I should have let her continue to be a pretty girl. Tang Yuyan arrived at the door of Charlotte's office, but she didn't go in. She stood quietly by the wall, listening to the voices inside. Lei, I've managed to get you an interest-free loan. And there's also a good talent recruitment policy. This was Fan Fan's voice, very gentle, very intimate. It was Charlotte's voice. Thank you so much. Rema Group is in a very critical period of development. What you fought for me is very important to me. Really, why are you being so polite to me? We're about to become a family. If I don't help you, who should I help? Hee hee. Charlotte laughed. Beside the door, Tang Yuyan's heart ached. She thought to herself, what a good-for-nothing. Are you going to sell your life's happiness just like that? I know that we don't have any emotional foundation yet, but feelings can be cultivated. I'm the kind of woman who grows emotional over time, and I believe you're the kind of man who grows emotional over time. Fan Fan's voice. Many leaders are optimistic about our union and are also very concerned about the development of our relationship. I'm full of hope and longing for our future. Lei, what about you? Charlotte's voice. Thank those leaders for their concern for me. I have no objection. That's great. Open your mouth and drink some chicken soup while it's hot. Fan Fan's voice. Tang Yuyan couldn't help biting her cherry lip. She secretly said in her heart, You're so fickle. You actually gave in like this. No, I don't agree. She reached out and grabbed the door handle. But at this moment, Charlotte's voice came. Fan, I only have one request. Yuyan has been hurt. I feel that I've let her down, and I've let down the Tang family. Yuyan will soon take over from Boss Shi. I don't want her to be affected by this matter. Do you understand what I mean? Fan Fan's voice. Of course I understand, but it also depends on her. Our relationship was arranged by the organization. If she insists on being a third party, she definitely won't be able to take over Sherborne's position. At the door, Tang Yuyan retracted her hand. Fan Fan's voice. If she knows how to choose, the Tang family will benefit. If she doesn't know how to choose, the Tang family will suffer. Personally, I don't mind her competing with me fairly, but you know, sometimes it's impossible to have your cake and eat it too. Charlotte sighed. Yu Yen said that she would come to talk to me today. I'll have a good talk with her when she comes. I really don't want her and the Tang family to be hurt anymore. Is she coming? Fan Fan's voice. I don't want to meet her. What's wrong with meeting her? I'm embarrassed. Fan Fan's voice was coquettish. Come, open your mouth and drink another mouthful of chicken soup. I spilled it on your pants. Don't move, let me wipe it for you. No need, no need. I can do it myself. Hee, what are you thinking about? You're so naughty. Tang Yuyan couldn't help but imagine an image of Fan Fan wiping his crotch with a tissue and Charlotte's crotch suddenly sticking out. She couldn't stay any longer. She wiped the corners of her eyes that were slightly wet and turned to leave. If she wasn't a woman of the Tang family, she would have walked into Charlotte's office at this moment. But there was no such thing as if. The Tang family's blood flowed in her veins. She couldn't let the Tang family's interests be harmed because of her personal happiness. She had already made the choice she had to make, although she was extremely unwilling to do so. In the office, Charlotte sighed. She's already left. If she's gone, then she's gone. Isn't that what you wanted? Fan Fan said. Charlotte smiled bitterly. Are we very bad for lying to her like this? Fan Fan snuggled up to Charlotte. You're a bad man and I'm a bad woman. We're a good match. If we have another bad boy in the future, then we'll be a bad family. Charlotte was speechless. His entanglement with the Tang family and Tang Yuyan had come to an end. But was this the final result? He didn't know at all. Looking at Tang Yuyan's lonely back, his heart was filled with guilt. The next evening, a Chevrolet Suburban was driving on the streets of the capital. Charlotte was driving, and Zhu Xianyue was sitting in the passenger seat. She was holding a teddy bear in her arms, and her eyes were curiously looking at the brightly lit streets of the city. Don't play with your teddy bear later. Charlotte said to her, when we get to that restaurant, do as I say. Do what I say, remember? Yes. Zhu Xianyue nodded seriously. Uncle Xia, what do you want me to do? Do you like playing games? Yes, I like playing games best. Charlotte sneered. Then we'll play a game with the other two uncles later. Half an hour later, a Toyota Land Cruiser arrived in front of a Western restaurant. Ling Hao got out of the car and opened the door for Yushanha. Then the two entered the Western restaurant together. The Western restaurant was very high-end, but it was empty, with only two customers. One was Charlotte and the other was a woman. Ling Hao's eyes moved to the woman and he looked at her carefully. The woman was sitting at the other table parallel to Charlotte. She was wearing a long white dress, and her face was so beautiful that it seemed unreal. She sat quietly at the table, looking at a glass of orange juice in front of her. She didn't look up at him and Yushanha at all. Charlotte got up and greeted them with a smile. Brother Ling, Chief Yu, I've been waiting for you for a while. If you hadn't come, I would have called you. Yushanha just nodded slightly. Ling Hao looked at the woman again. Why is it so quiet here? Xia Lei smiled and said, It's like this. I've booked this restaurant. I don't want too many people to see us eating and talking here. Ling Hao said, What's the matter with the lady over there? She was already here when I came. The owner of the restaurant said he couldn't ask her out. I think it's right. She came first, so it doesn't matter if she's alone, Charlotte said. Ling Hao didn't ask much. The three of them sat down and the waiter brought the menu. Charlotte ordered and specially ordered a bottle of expensive red wine from Chateau Lafayette. After the waiter left, Yushanha said, Don't be extravagant. Why did you order such an expensive red wine? I think our domestic Great Wall and Zhang Yu will do. Charlotte pretended to be embarrassed and said, Sorry, next time. I'll order Great Wall or Zhang Yu wine next time. Ling Hao said with a smile, Chief Yu, Charlotte is now a top billionaire with a net worth of 100 billion yuan. He won't be poor even if he drinks this wine every day. We are benefiting from it. How can we bear to drink such good red wine? Yushanha said lightly, Don't call me Chief Yu. This is a restaurant, so call me Mr. Yu. Or call me Uncle Yu. I'm 20 or 30 years older than you. I think I deserve to be called an uncle. Charlotte and Ling Hao looked at each other and smiled. It seemed that because of Yushanha's words, the atmosphere between the three of them became relaxed and happy. Ling Hao shifted his gaze to the woman again. This time, he saw the woman's plump chest, buttocks and legs. He was not a lecherous man, and he had self-control in this respect that ordinary men didn't have. But the woman he saw tonight was so beautiful that even he couldn't help looking at her a few more times. Charlotte lowered his voice and said, Do you know why I insisted on asking the restaurant staff to send her out? It's the first time I've seen such a beautiful woman. Look at her. She's so beautiful. Well, Ling Hao coughed awkwardly and looked away. Brother, don't tease me. Which of the women around you isn't a beauty in 1,000? Besides, I'm just looking. I don't have any other thoughts. Everyone has a love for beauty. Xiale said, Yes, yes, yes. Everyone has a love for beauty. Let's talk about us. Don't worry about her. The waiter served the dishes and opened the bottle of expensive Chateau Lafite red wine in front of the three people and poured it into the decanter. When the waiter went down again, Yushanha said, Charlotte, let's get straight to the point. Okay. Charlotte smiled at Yushanha and said, I like to be straightforward. Well, then I'll say a few words first. Yushanha said, We did have some unpleasantness before, but I'm not judging people. So many people have to eat. There are some things I have to fight for them. Charlotte nodded and said, I understand. Although we had a lot of unpleasantness between us, I'm not judging people. I can understand your position, Mr. Yu. If it were me, I would do the same. Ling Hao picked up the decanter and poured the wine. He said, That's good. Understanding is the bridge of communication between people and the basis of friendship. Let's have a toast to this hard-won party. Ding ling ling, ding ling ling, Charlotte's cell phone suddenly rang. Yushanha and Ling Hao looked at each other, and an imperceptible smile appeared at the corners of their mouths. Chapter 847. The phone call was from Shintu Tianyin. Sorry, I have to answer a phone call. Charlotte got up and left the table. He walked a few meters before stopping to answer the phone call from Shintu Tianyin. Shintu Tianyin wanted to say something but stopped. What's wrong with you? Charlotte was curious. Why are you hesitating? Shintu Tianyin was silent for a moment before he said, I don't know how to say it. Is there anything you can't say to me? Is there any trouble? Charlotte had some guesses in his mind, but there was no result. I was wrong last time. I'm sorry. Shintu Tianyin's tone was full of remorse. Charlotte smiled bitterly. That's it? How many times have I told you? Don't mention the things that have already passed. We all make mistakes, but we can't always live in the past. That thing. Shintu Tianyin hesitated and said, I don't know who restarted it. Several people came to my house tonight. They said they were an investigation team and asked me some difficult questions. I didn't want to bother you, but I was a little worried, so. Those people are still in your house? Yes. Shintu Tianyin looked a little nervous. They also asked me something about your father, implying that there is something wrong with your father. Those people are not simple. What should I do? Charlotte looked back at Yushanha and Ling Hao sitting at the table. He saw an imperceptible smile on Yushanha and Ling Hao's faces. Suddenly, he seemed to understand something. This was not a social gathering, nor was it a gathering of friends. It was a negotiation that involved the interests of many people. To negotiate, there must be bargaining chips in hand. Yushanha and Ling Hao were showing him the bargaining chips in their hands. Charlotte looked away and said lightly, Don't worry, it will be fine. But they showed some evidence. I'm worried. Trust me, no one will be fine. Can you come to my house? I want to talk to you. Shintu Tianyin said. I'm negotiating with someone, so I can't come. Charlotte thought for a moment and said, How about this? No matter what those people ask you, you just say you don't know. If they force you, you can put all the blame on me. You just need to deal with it. You don't need to do anything else, and don't be afraid. All right, I'll do as you say, Shintu Tianyin said. Charlotte hung up the phone and returned to the dining table. He said with a smile, Women are really troublesome. They have to ask me for such a small thing. If it's something urgent, you don't have to accompany us. You can go and settle it first. Meals can be eaten anytime. It's really not a big deal. Charlotte said with a smile, It's my ex-wife, Shintu Tianyin. You must know her. Ling Hao smiled and said, Who doesn't know the richest woman in China? What happened to her? Charlotte said, It's the thing that happened before. The dust has actually settled, but I don't know what happened, but a group of experts came out to investigate it. Yushan has said lightly, I know that. Tens of billions of state-owned assets, that's not a small matter. Such a debt, no matter when it's dug out, it's a big deal. Charlotte, I think you'd better go. Your husband and wife. Now that she's in trouble, you should help her. Besides, the investigation team will definitely give you face. The investigation team is obviously looking for trouble. Will they give me face? Charlotte said. Yushan has said, If they don't give you face, you can mention me. I still have some face. How can I do that? Charlotte said. Ling Hao said, Brother, what's there to be embarrassed about? We're friends now. Isn't it normal for friends to help friends? Yushan's mouth showed a trace of a smile. To be friends, you must have the sincerity of a friend. Charlotte, I have a plan in mind, and I've been wanting to talk to you for a long time. Today is an opportunity, let's talk about it. What is the plan Mr. Yu is talking about? Charlotte asked. Yiling, you call first to ask who sent the investigation team to help Charlotte solve this problem. I'll talk to him first. Yushan has said. Well, I'll call and ask right away. Ling Hao then got up and walked to the window, taking out his mobile phone to make a call. Charlotte secretly said in his heart, What kind of show is this? This is a restaurant, not Hengyan. Yushan then said, My plan is to let you cooperate with Shenzhou Industry Group. Cooperate with Shenzhou Industry Group? Mr. Yu, what kind of cooperation do you mean? Charlotte tentatively asked. Yushan has said, The research and development of new weapons and new technologies, and more blooming in terms of production capacity. Mr. Yu, please elaborate. Aren't Shenzhou Industry Group and your Rema Group developing new tanks? I think repeated research is a waste of the country's resources. If the two of you unite and integrate your respective technologies and advantages to develop a new type of main battle tank, it will also be beneficial to the country. That makes sense. So what kind of cooperation is it in terms of technology research and development? Shenzhou Industry Group has a huge scientific research team and technical strength, which is exactly what your Rema Group lacked. Don't you have a rare material project in your hand? Let the power of Shenzhou Industry Group intervene in it, and you two unite to do it. I'm sure you will have good result. Yushan has said. More blooming in terms of production capacity? Yushan has smiled. You have too many orders. You can give a part of it to Shenzhou Industry Group. You only need to provide production technology and standard. Shenzhou Industry Group is a large state-owned military enterprise with many branches. It can help you solve the problem of insufficient production capacity. Charlotte sneered in his heart. What kind of cooperation was this? This was simply shamelessly hitching a ride. Shenzhou Industry Group's tanks would definitely not be able to compete with Rema Group's tank. The party with backward technology wanted to cooperate with the party with advanced technology to research a project. Wasn't this trying to take credit for nothing? Once this project was completed and entered production, Shenzhou Industry Group would probably get more orders than Rema Group. As for the new material project, he had already received the support of the Academy of Sciences. Why would he still need Shenzhou Industry Group? And the last so-called, more blooming in terms of production capacity, to put it bluntly, was to let him share a piece of the cake. Charlotte, what do you think? Yushanha looked at Charlotte expectantly. Charlotte thought for a moment. Such a big thing, I have to think about it. Yes, you should think about it, Yushanha said as he glanced at Ling Hao. The latter put away his phone and walked over after looking at each other. How did the two of you talk? Ling Hao asked with a smile. Yushanha said, Charlotte said he would think about it. Ling Hao frowned slightly. Brother, you see, I was about to quarrel with someone about your ex-wife. Am I sincere enough? We are friends now. To be friends, we should show sincerity. You can't be alone for a lifetime. How can you eat such a big piece of cake? If you eat it alone, won't others starve to death? If you give others a way to live, others will give you something in return. After a while, won't we all become a family? Xiao Lei smiled. Are the two of you hinting that I should join your faction? Yushanha said nothing. Ling Hao said, You can understand it this way. I think you don't want to stand on the opposite side of the majority, do you? Hello, isn't that a real good thing? You have a net worth of 100 billion yuan, which you can't spend in 10 lifetimes. You have made so many contributions, but you are not an official. Tell me, you've offended so many people, yet you've isolated yourself. What's the point? Yushanha added, Yes, I took the liberty to call you Xiao Xia. Xiao Xia, your life is only a few decades. Why fight for so much money? Sometimes, if you take a step back, your life will be different because of this decision. Hee. Xiaolei laughed out loud. You two really put in a lot of effort. First, you sent an investigation team to dig up my ex-wife's past, and then you're here to persuade me to give you some benefit. I say, you don't intend to be friends with me at all, but just want to force me to submit, right? Yushanha and Ling Hao's faces darkened at the same time. Charlotte continued, I think you overestimate your ability now. Do you think you can destroy me with my ex-wife's matter? I have already taken the blame for that. Am I not fine? Ling Hao sneered. Brother, it's not fun to say that. It's not that I'm not fun, but you don't have enough chips in your hands, Charlotte said. What about your father? Ling Hao said coldly, he is a spy of the enemy. I have an amnesty order. Charlotte didn't buy it at all. The atmosphere suddenly became oppressive and a little tense. In Yushanha's view, with his identity and face, plus the old accounts with Shintu Tianyin, and the special identity of Xia Changhe, even if Charlotte didn't agree to all his conditions, he would at least make some concessions. The normal result should be like this, because no entrepreneur would want to be the enemy of someone of his status. Therefore, in this negotiation, he was actually a kind of bargaining chip, but he didn't expect that he had lowered his position to such an extent, but Charlotte still didn't buy it. After a short silence, Yushanha said aloud, Charlotte, do you really think that I can't do anything to you just because the higher-ups think highly of you? Well, even if I can't do anything to you now, can't I do anything to the people around you? Or perhaps, in your eyes, I, Yushanha, am not a person of importance? Charlotte smiled. Mr. Yu, I'm still used to the current you. I'm not used to the previous you. Humph. Yushanha said coldly, Ling Hao, give the investigation team a call. Arrest Shintu Tianyin and bring him away for investigation. Brother, why do you have to do this? Isn't it good to make money and get promoted together? Ling Hao took out his mobile phone and looked at Charlotte, waiting for Charlotte's response. Charlotte said lightly, I have forgiven many people because they deserve to be forgiven. I'm not alone. I have many friends who are even willing to die for me. But I won't forgive you two because you two don't deserve to be forgiven at all. I won't be friends with you because there are no friends in the world of people like you. You are crocodiles. You will even eat your companions. How can you have friends? Yushan said coldly, call him. Don't talk nonsense with him. Get someone to take Shintu Tianin away. In addition, send someone to check on Haiju's policewoman to see if there are any violations. Ling Hao began to dial. Wait, Charlotte said. Ling Hao paused and tentatively said, Have you changed your mind? Charlotte looked at the woman sitting quietly and said aloud, Hey, miss, how about a drink? Chapter 848. If a man tried to talk to a woman like this, he would most likely be rolled his eyes. But as soon as Charlotte called, the woman in the white dress got up and walked over. She was tall and well-proportioned. She could be called the Queen of the Nine Beauties. From her face and figure, even the most picky person would be stunned, unable to find a single flaw. When she was sitting, people only thought she was beautiful. But when she walked over, even Yu Shanhe and Ling Hao, who were not interested in women, were slightly stunned. She had a very special temperament. She was like a fairy in a fairy story, sacred and inviolable, with powerful abilities. At first glance, you would think that she was very confident. But at second glance, you would find that it was definitely not confidence. It was a powerful aura beyond confidence. It was the aura of controlling everything. However, this aura of controlling everything suddenly disappeared when the woman approached the table. She accidentally tripped and fell on Xia Lei's body, causing one of her high heels to fall to the ground. Annoying! Broken shoes. The woman showed her silver teeth that were slightly shining. She stared fiercely at the high heels on the ground. I'll chop you up when we get back. Ling Hao and Yushanhe couldn't help but look at each other. They saw the same doubt in each other's eyes. Who was this woman? How could such a beautiful woman be so nervous? Well, Charlotte coughed. Miss, are you okay? I'm fine. The woman bent down to pick up the high heels. Then she sat on the chair and put them on. Ling Hao stared straight at the woman. His eyes were full of vigilance. The woman put on the high heels and looked at Ling Hao. What are you looking at? Believe it or not, I'll dig out your eyes. Ling Hao suddenly said, You two know each other, right? Yes, she's my friend. Charlotte said. Yushanhe suddenly slammed the table. Charlotte, what do you mean by calling this woman over? Isn't it just a drink? Charlotte smiled. Why are you so nervous? Yushanhe said coldly, I don't want to talk nonsense with you. Yiling, call them immediately and ask them to take her away. Ling Hao picked up his phone and dialed again. Charlotte said to the woman, Ask him to call the investigation team to withdraw and destroy all the files in their hands. The woman blinked and pointed at Ling Hao. Uncle Xia, is that him? Yes, that's him, said Charlotte. The woman shifted her gaze to Ling Hao, her eyes deep and strange. In the blink of an eye, she seemed to have changed into another person. Just now it was a fairy and now it was a demon. Ling Hao remained motionless. Yushanhe laughed. Charlotte, are you joking? But I have to admit, it's really funny. However, at this moment, Ling Hao suddenly dialed a number and said into the phone, Withdraw and destroy all the files. The smile on Yushanhe's face froze. Ling Hao put down his phone and sat still. His eyes were dull as if he had lost his soul. Yushanhe suddenly realized the danger and prepared to leave. But when he tried to move his feet away from the dining table, he found that he couldn't control his feet at all. Then, it was his hand again. Standing up from the chair was a very simple action that even a 3-year-old child could do easily, but he couldn't do it now. Yushanhe's voice trembled. What did you do to me? Charlotte said lightly, Just let him sit there quietly. I have a few words to say to him. He can speak, but not loudly. Well, I will make him obedient, said the woman. There was only one woman who could make a person like this, and that was Zhu Xianyue. Unfortunately, Yushanhe and Ling Hao had no idea what kind of existence they were facing. Otherwise, they wouldn't have dared to come to the appointment even if they were given 1,000 guts. Fear came fiercely, and Ushanha's emotions went out of control in the blink of an eye. He suddenly shouted, "Help!" He used all his strength to call for help, but when he called for help, he desperately found that his voice was actually not much louder than the voice coming from the phone. Cold sweat broke out on his forehead, but he couldn't even wipe it off. Charlotte said lightly, "Ushanha, you are indeed a powerful person, but I am not afraid of you at all. Even the Americans and Japanese can't kill me, so what makes you think you can? On the contrary, it's easy for me to kill you. Don't mess around, I'm not someone you can touch at will." Ushanha's voice was very soft, but he still tried to say it so that Charlotte could hear him. "Killing you will have too much impact, so I won't kill you. However, you must not know that the higher-ups have actually started to investigate you, right?" What nonsense are you talking about? Send me to the hospital, and the grudge between us will be written off. I promise you, I won't cause any trouble for you in the future. He was guilty and afraid. "You think I'll write it off just because you say so?" Charlotte said coldly. "You must still remember that you asked Song Baiching to leak the information to the Japanese, right? During the operation in Tuvong, Shi Province, 4 of my good friends died. They were like my family. You killed 4 of my family, and you think I'll write it off just because you say so?" What nonsense are you talking about? Ushanha was angry. "Not only did you kill my people, but you also killed Song Baiching to silence him. In addition, you also did everything possible to obstruct the development of Rema Group. For your own interests, you did not hesitate to harm the interests of the country. You have done all kinds of bad things, but today you are still fantasizing about getting what you want from Rema Group. You are so greedy. How will you explain to the King of Hell when you go to hell? Let me go!" Ushanha roared angrily, but his voice was so soft that only he and Charlotte could hear it. Charlotte moved in front of him and lowered his voice. "I will definitely let you go, but you have no way out." Fear, anger, resentment, regret, and other negative emotions surged in Ushanha's mind, but he could do nothing. At this moment, he saw the woman sitting next to Charlotte pick up a glass of red wine. She did not drink it, but held it in her hand and looked at it. And the glass of red wine in her hand quickly froze, turning into a rose-colored ice cube. "Uncle Xia, he is looking at me." Zhu Xianyue put down the wine glass and pointed at Ushanha, looking like she had been bullied and was about to complain. "What do you want?" Charlotte asked her with a smile. "I want him to become a dog like Secretary Qing," Zhu Xianyue said. Qing Tsayue's beautiful dog form suddenly appeared in Charlotte's mind, with a big white ball and a ham sausage in her mouth. That scene was so beautiful that it made people excited. But if Ushanha and Ling Hao also became like that, the picture was simply too horrible to look at. Not to mention seeing it, just thinking about it made him want to vomit. "How about this, let's play a game of truth." "A game to tell the truth?" Zhu Xianyue looked confused. "Yes, a game of truth." Xia Lei took out his cell phone and said, "Ask him to tell me all the bad things he has done. Well, focus on corruption and bribery, and how he got Ling Hao and Song Baiching to leak the information to the Japanese, and how he killed Song Baiching to silence him." "What's so funny about that? I know what's in his head." "I can tell you, you don't need him to say it," Zhu Xianyue said. Charlotte was stunned for a moment. How do you know?" If Zhu Xianyue didn't say it, he wouldn't even think about it. He had always thought that his left eye's ability to see through objects was a heaven-defying ability, but now compared to Zhu Xuanyue's ability, it was simply insignificant. She did almost nothing, just sat here, but she even knew all the memories in Ushanha's head like the back of her hand. In front of her, who could keep their secrets? Terrifying. After a pause, Charlotte tentatively said, "Do you know what's in my head?" Zhu Xianyue thought for a moment. Well, there's something sparkling, and then there's darkness, like a bed without a light. Charlotte was stunned again. Wasn't what she said the same as what he had seen in her head? A bold hypothesis suddenly emerged in his mind. Could it be the final evolution is like her? Or like the black-robed man? I'm the same as them. For a moment, Charlotte forgot why he was sitting there. His mind was filled with all sorts of conjectures and hypotheses, a mess. But no matter what the conjectures and hypotheses were, there was no way to verify them. What Zhu Xianyue said just now only added a layer of credibility to these conjectures and hypotheses. Uncle Xia, it's really boring not being able to see what's going on in your head. When can you let me see? Zhu Xuanyue's voice interrupted Charlotte's thoughts. Only then did Charlotte return to his senses. He put on a straight face. You're not allowed to look. But I can't see at all. You're not allowed to look even if you can't see. Oh, if you don't want to look, then don't look. Why are you so fierce? Zhu Xianyue pouted, looking very wronged. Charlotte also understood one thing, and that was why Zhu Xianyue was only afraid of him. It was because he was the only person she couldn't control. If he was like an ordinary person, maybe he would have been turned into a dog by her. You. Yushanha's voice trembled even more. Who are you? Charlotte leaned in front of Yushanha and whispered, We are the people who sent you to hell. Do you want to know why? In your next life, I'll tell you after you pay off your debt. Then, he opened the video app on his mobile phone. Xianyu, let's start. Zhu Xuanyue's eyes moved to Yushanha, but it was just a glance. Yushanha's eyes suddenly became dull. He looked at the mobile phone in Charlotte's hand and spoke slowly. What he said were all things that could not be brought to light. Ling Hao sat next to him, motionless like a piece of wood. Zhu Xianyue continued to play with the glass of red wine that had frozen over, looking interested. The scene here was very strange, but no one came to take a look or ask, not for anything else, because there was no normal person in this Western restaurant except for Charlotte. Chapter 849. It was very quiet in the dining room. Only Yushanha and Ling Hao were whispering to each other. Those ugly things that couldn't see the light of day came out of their mouth. Their tone was light and gentle, giving people the feeling that they were talking about eating and drinking tea. Charlotte had already imagined the worst of Yushanha and Ling Hao, but when the two of them confessed, he realized that it was far from enough. Compared to these two people, the juice that the octopus sprayed out was cleaner. I asked Song Baiching's woman to kill Song Baiching. Song Baiching's woman and I actually knew each other a long time ago, and we were intimate. Song Baiching's son is actually my son. Ling Hao's voice. Charlotte suddenly sympathized with Song Baiching. He worked hard for Ling Hao, but Ling Hao made him a cheap father, and in the end, he even asked his woman to kill him. How could such a life be summed up by the word tragedy? Uncle Xia, I'm so hungry. Zhu Xianyue shook Charlotte's arm. Shoo. Charlotte motioned for her not to speak, and then pointed to the food on the table, indicating that she could eat it. However, Zhu Xianyue shook her head. I don't want to eat these things. I need to go to the bathroom. Charlotte nodded. Zhu Xianyue got up and left. Her departure did not affect her absolute control over Yushanha and Ling Hao. Ling Hao was still confessing to Charlotte. Charlotte looked back in the direction of the bathroom and saw Zhu Xianyue walk into the bathroom. He looked away and sighed in his heart. What a terrible woman! Where did she come from? Clang! The sound of glass breaking came from the direction of the bathroom. Charlotte frowned. She must have broken the glass in the bathroom. She's so naughty. However, he didn't use his X-ray vision to check if Zhu Xianyue had broken the glass in the bathroom. Even if she did, it was just a piece of glass. But if he used his X-ray vision to peep at what she was doing in the bathroom, then he would really become a bad uncle. It took Zhu Xianyue 10 minutes to return. At this time, Charlotte had just finished recording the video he wanted. Ling Hao and Yu Shanhe were still sitting there like pieces of wood, staring blankly ahead. Just when Charlotte was about to ask Zhu Xianyue to take the next step, Yu Shanhe and Ling Hao suddenly stood up from their chairs and walked to the door of the restaurant. There were people looking around at the entrance of the restaurant, but when they saw the closed sign hanging on the door, they left. Charlotte asked curiously, "Did you let them leave?" Zhu Xianyue nodded. "Yes, I'll let them play a new game." "What game?" "Bumper car game," Zhu Xianyue said with a smile. "I want to see them hit a car. Do you think they can win?" Charlotte was speechless. "Let's go and see the bumper cars." Zhu Xianyue skipped and chased after them. "Wait." Charlotte also ran after them. "Don't mess around. These two people can't die." "Why?" Zhu Xianyue looked at Charlotte with a strange look. "These two bad guys are your enemies. Are you going to let your enemies go?" Xiaolei said, "They will die, but they won't die by my hands. You can just let them take out the things they hid and hand them over to me. Don't worry about anything else, and don't do anything about it." Zhu Xianyue curled her lips. "Well, this game is really boring." The four of them left the Western restaurant. Charlotte didn't notice that the glass of wine on the table had thawed, nor did he notice that Zhu Xianyue looked much more energetic than before. Ling Hao left in the Toyota Land Cruiser, and Yu Shanhe was also in his car. The two of them didn't exchange a single word, and the car was eerily quiet. Only when the Toyota Land Cruiser was out of sight did Charlotte start his Chevrolet Suburban and drive Zhu Xianyue into the street. However, he didn't drive in the direction of the Toyota Land Cruiser. Instead, he drove in the opposite direction. The road was filled with surveillance cameras, and he didn't want to leave a trail of Yu Shanhe and Ling Hao behind. After that, even if someone investigated him, the only thing they could find out was that he, Yu Shanhe, and Ling Hao had a meal together, and they went home separately after the meal. That was all. After driving for a few kilometers in the direction of Whitestag, Charlotte parked the car in a secluded area without surveillance cameras. Then, he took out 2 human skin masks from the storage box. One was for himself, and the other was for Zhu Xianyue. Xiaolei was done quickly, but Zhu Xianyue was holding the human skin mask and turning it over and over again, looking curious. "Put it on," Charlotte said. "No, it's ugly," Zhu Xianyue said. "Listen to me." Charlotte put on a stern face. "Put it on. We'll go home after we get what we want." "Are you going to warm my blanket?" "I'll go if you do." "Nonsense. Men and women can't just sleep in the same bed." "You're being mean to me again." "I'm not going, and I won't let those two get anything for you either." Zhu Xianyue put the mask Charlotte gave her on her lap unhappily. "Do you think I won't hit you?" Charlotte glared at her fiercely. Zhu Xianyue rolled her eyes. "You can't beat me." Charlotte was speechless. He scolded her, but she wouldn't listen. He hit her, but he couldn't beat her. On the surface, Charlotte was the only one who could control her. But when she threw a tantrum and turned into a disobedient brat, Charlotte really couldn't do anything about it. "What are you trying to do?" Charlotte looked at the watch on his wrist. 15 minutes had passed and he was starting to get anxious. "Sleep with me and warm my blanket. I'll listen to you." Zhu Xianyue looked at Charlotte. Charlotte hesitated for a few seconds, then braced himself and nodded. "Okay, I promise you." "Pinky promise." Zhu Xianyue stretched out her hand. "You're not allowed to go back on your word. If you do, you'll be a puppy." Charlotte was speechless. He pulled the puppy with her and mumbled, "You think you can turn me into a puppy if I go back on my word? You can't do anything about it." Only he could hear this voice. But the next second Zhu Xianyue said, "I can't turn you into a puppy, but I can turn others into puppies." If you go back on your word, I'll turn everyone into puppies. Several black lines appeared on Charlotte's forehead. Although he really wanted to beat this brat up and make her but swollen, Charlotte still patiently helped Zhu Xianyue with the mask. He became a middle-aged man, and Zhu Xianyue became a middle-aged woman. The two got out of the Chevrolet Suburban off-road van and hailed a taxi. Then they drove in the direction that Ling Hao had left. Strangely, the taxi driver didn't ask Charlotte where they were going. Instead, he drove at a very fast speed. None of the people in the car had been to Yushanhe and Ling Hao's house, but Zhu Xianyue played the role of a navigator. Her navigator never broadcast the route, but only controlled the driver's brain and let him drive forward. Xianyue, do you know where your hometown is? Charlotte asked tentatively. My hometown. Zhu Xianyue frowned. She thought for a while and said, I can't remember. Then can you remember if you have any relatives? For example, your parents, brothers and sisters? Charlotte continued to probe. Zhu Xianyue shook her head. I can't remember. As soon as I opened my eyes, I saw you. You are my parents. At this point, she suddenly burrowed into Xia Lei's arms and blinked her big black eyes. Do you want to be my father or mother? An evil feeling suddenly emerged. Xia Lei couldn't bear it. He waved his hand and slapped Zhu Xuanyue's buttock. Don't talk nonsense again. Uncle Xia is Uncle Xia, not Dad Xia, not Mom Xia. Don't call me that in the future, remember? You hit me so hard. Can you hit me again? She coquettishly moved in Charlotte's arms. The friction brought excitement and sparks. Her mind was that of a little brat, but her body was that of a mature, seductive, and perfect woman. In the face of such a request for a spanking and such intimate body language, Xia Lei's heart had long been in a mess. He couldn't control a part of him to make a physical reaction, and the fabric of his pants became smaller in the blink of an eye. Uncle Xia, what is this? It's a pen. Who puts a pen in their pants? I just want to put it in my pants. You're lying. Let me see. What are you doing? Take your hand off me. Do you believe that I won't hit you? Okay. Hearing that she was going to be spanked, Zhu Xuanyue's eyes suddenly lit up with excitement. She simply lay on Charlotte's thigh and raised her butt high. She swayed around and urged, Hurry, hurry, hurry up and hit me. Uncle Xia wants to spank my butt. Uncle Xia, hurry up and hit me. Charlotte's head hit the window, but it wasn't very heavy. Half an hour later, the taxi stopped at the side of a mechanical community. Charlotte stuffed 100 yuan into the taxi driver's pocket, and then got out of the car with Zhu Xianyue. A few seconds later, the taxi driver shook his head violently and then looked around in confusion. Soon, he saw Charlotte and Zhu Xianyue standing by the side of the road. He said aloud, Do you want to take a taxi? Charlotte shook his head, No. The taxi driver drove away. Charlotte looked at the entrance of the mechanical community. There was a sentry box at the entrance, and there were armed soldiers standing guard. There was no way to enter such a place without a pass. At this moment, the Toyota Land Cruiser drove out of the gate of the mechanical community. The driver was still Ling Hao. He drove the car along the side of the road and stopped beside Charlotte and Zhu Xianyue. The door opened and Yushanhe, who was sitting on the sofa in the back seat, threw out a cardboard box. The cardboard box contained documents, account books, property certificates, and so on. With one glance, Charlotte was shocked. There were dozens of property certificates in the cardboard box. He hid a lot of things in other places. I can ask him to give them to you, said Zhu Xianyue. Xia Lei said, There's no need. These things are enough. With the video and these things, it was enough for Long Bing to report. Yushanhe closed the door. Ling Hao started the car and continued to drive forward. Charlotte asked curiously, Where do you want them to go? I don't know. You don't know? I just want them to keep driving, keep driving. I know where they are going. After a pause, she suddenly had an idea. How about going to Moscow? I saw on TV yesterday a woman said that the bread there is very expensive, and they have to wait in line to buy it. They can't buy bread even if they go to Moscow. Charlotte. Chapter 850. A large cardboard box of items was sorted out. The dozens of property certificates were worth at least $1 billion, but even so, it was only the tip of the iceberg. There were several foreign investment contracts in the cardboard box, which were entrusted to foreign investment companies to operate several funds, which were worth hundreds of millions of dollars. In addition, there were several documents in the cardboard box about the illegal sale of state-owned assets, which Ushanha had profited from. As long as these things were exposed to the light, even if Ushanha did not die, he would still lose a layer of skin. Not to mention his political career, enjoying his old age in peace and so on. He was done for. After arranging everything, Charlotte wanted to call Long Bing, but after thinking about it, he gave up and decided to wait until tomorrow. He had more important things to do, which was to fulfill his promise. Zhu Xianyue had helped him settle Yushanha and Ling Hao, which was equivalent to removing his two most powerful opponents in the country. Her request in return was to warm the quilt. Such a simple request, how could he not fulfill it? More importantly, if he did not warm the quilt, who knew how many beautiful women and men would appear in the Peace House and the Thunder Horse Army factory? Uncle Xia, hurry up. The little devil on the bed lifted a corner of the quilt and looked at Charlotte eagerly. Hurry up, I want to sleep with you. When the quilt was lifted, Xia Lei's heart was thrown into disarray. Her snow-white skin was exposed, and her lotus-like arms and a part of her snow-white bulge were revealed. Coupled with her anxious eyes and almost pleading tone, Xia Lei's heart was thrown into disarray. He didn't know why, but the thought of sleeping with her made him feel like he was committing a crime. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Zhu Xianyue was very anxious, her feet kicking the quilt. In the blink of an eye, the quilt was kicked away from her body. Her legs were truly jade legs, because they looked like they were carved out of jade, crystal clear and flawless. Her lower abdomen was smooth and flat, with a little baby fat. Coupled with her small waist, it made people want to hug, and rub it. Charlotte had such an urge, and it was very strong, but he had to resist, because the more he thought in that direction, the stronger the feeling of crime in his heart. He braced himself and went over, only taking off his shoes and climbing into the bed. As soon as he got on the bed, he couldn't wait to grab the quilt and cover himself. He actually wanted to cover Zhu Xuanyue's body, not hers. Uncle Xia, do you sleep with your clothes on? Zhu Xianyue looked at Charlotte curiously. Well, yes, I usually sleep with my clothes on, Charlotte said, not daring to look into her eyes. You liar! Why would I lie to you? I usually sleep with my clothes on, Charlotte said seriously. The last time I saw you sleeping with Fanfan, you were naked. Charlotte, take off your clothes. Zhu Xianyue reached out to take off Charlotte's clothes. Her hand was very cold, and it felt like ice. Charlotte hurriedly said, Your body is so cold. If I take off my clothes, I'll get sick. Be obedient and we'll sleep like this. Otherwise, I won't sleep with you. Really? Really? Charlotte's body had actually activated its own temperature regulation system. On the snowy mountains of Tavang Inshi province, he could fight in only his underwear, so the cold of this bed was nothing to him. The reason why he insisted on sleeping with his clothes on was because he was afraid. He was afraid that he wouldn't be able to control himself and do something to Zhu Xianyue. Zhu Xianyue burrowed into Charlotte's arms. She hugged his waist with one hand and pressed her leg against his. Charlotte's body immediately stiffened. There was a burning impulse hidden in his body, but he still had to bitterly endure it, not daring to move. Zhu Xianyue moved closer to Charlotte's ear and said softly, Uncle Xia, your body is so warm. It feels so good to sleep with you. Then go to sleep. Don't talk anymore, Charlotte said. Okay. Zhu Xianyue closed her eyes and rubbed her cheek against Charlotte's face twice. She looked like a clingy cat. Charlotte let out a sigh of relief. Finally, she fell asleep. The next second, Zhu Xianyue opened her eyes again. Uncle Xia, I can't sleep. Charlotte, your pen is moving. Sleep. It's really moving. I'm not lying. Sleep. If you don't sleep, I'll go down. Okay, I'll sleep. Zhu Xianyue closed her eyes again. Charlotte observed Zhu Xianyue from the corner of his eye. He seemed very nervous, afraid that she would suddenly open her eyes again and ask some strange question. 3 seconds later, Zhu Xianyue opened her eyes again and stared straight at Charlotte. She giggled and said, "Why aren't you sleeping?" Xiaolei suddenly felt like banging his head on the wall and ending his life. Was this sleep, or was she trying to kill him? Uncle Xia, you're so warm. How about you sleep with me every day from now on? Kill me, Charlotte said. Why would I kill you? Even if I kill everyone in this world, I won't kill you, she said. Charlotte's back inexplicably turned cold. You're not allowed to say such things in the future, and you're not allowed to have such thoughts. No matter who it is, it's a life. You must love life and not kill the innocent. I can't help it. I want to kill when I'm hungry, she said. Charlotte's heart skipped a beat. Are you serious? Zhu Xianyue seemed to realize that she had said something wrong. She shut her mouth and then closed her eyes. Sleep, yawn. I'm so sleepy. Charlotte didn't let her sleep. Tell me, you always say that you're hungry, but when I see you eat, you always have no appetite. You eat very little. What's going on? Snore, snore. Zhu Xianyue snored. Charlotte frowned. I know you're not asleep. Answer my question. Snore, snore. Zhu Xianyue continued to snore. Charlotte suddenly reached out and pinched her butt. Ouch. Zhu Xianyue opened her eyes and looked at Charlotte with watery eyes. Her eyes showed obvious excitement and desire. Charlotte could see it at a glance. He suddenly froze for a moment, and then began to regret it. Uncle Xia, continue. She wriggled in his arms and begged, hit me, please hit me. Charlotte cleverly changed the topic. Well, tell me, in your memory, is there a person wearing a black robe? The kind that's super powerful? Hit me, hit me. She grabbed his hand, wanting him to hit her. Tell me, I'll hit you. Charlotte resisted the feeling of committing a crime and said to her, No, I don't remember a person wearing a black robe. What kind of black robe? Is it the kind that Fan wears? That's a suit. Is that the kind that Secretary Qing wears? That's stockings. Then I don't know what kind of black robe it is. If I see it, I'll tell you. I've already answered you, hit me, quickly. She climbed up from his arms and raised her butt. Charlotte closed his eyes, and a second later, a snoring sound came from his mouth. Snore. Snore. You're lying, you're not sleeping. Snore. Snore. Get up, Uncle Xia, I beg you. Snore. Snore. Humph. Liar. I don't want to talk to you any more. She lay down and pointed her butt at Charlotte, pouting her small mouth in anger. Charlotte secretly said in his heart, It's good that you're angry, don't come here. Bodhisattva bless her, let her sleep. 2 seconds later, Zhu Xianyue suddenly turned over and went into Charlotte's arms. Her hand wrapped around his waist, and her leg also pressed on Charlotte's leg. Charlotte's heart sighed, sadness came from his heart. Is this the result of a non-religious person's wish? It's so comfortable. Zhu Xianyue rubbed her face against Charlotte's face and then giggled. Uncle Xia, your pen is so strange. You're already asleep, but it's still jumping. Is it an automatic pen? Charlotte almost spat out a mouthful of blood. This night was the most torturous night of Charlotte's life. Every minute felt as long as an hour. The next morning, before dawn, Charlotte got up. Zhu Xianyue was still sleeping in the quilt, her butt was raised, and the quilt was like a turtle shell covering her back. Before that, Xia Lei had crawled out from underneath her, the white tortoise. Zhu Xianyue didn't notice that Charlotte had left her quilt. There was a trace of saliva hanging from the corner of her mouth, and there was a smile on her face. Who knew what kind of fun dream she was having? Walking out of Zhu Xuanyue's room, the eastern sky showed a smear of white. The cold wind blew across his cheeks, and the heat in Charlotte's lower abdomen finally subsided. He let out a long sigh of relief, and with a tired body, he walked to the dining room. "Chairman Xia, what do you want for breakfast?" The private chef of Ping and Residence asked Charlotte. Charlotte casually said, "Anything. Make me some porridge to lower my internal heat." "Okay, I'll make lotus seed porridge for you, Chairman Xia. Lotus seed porridge can lower your internal heat." The chef went to prepare breakfast. Charlotte turned on the television on the wall to watch the morning news. The television showed a street full of police cars, and many police officers were maintaining order. There were many onlookers outside the police cordon, and the scene was a little chaotic. What happened this time? Xia Lei's attention was immediately attracted. Just then, a long row of body bags appeared on the screen. A woman appeared on the television screen, holding a microphone and said, "Hello everyone, this is the morning news. I'm now at the door of a beauty salon. Last night there was a terrorist attack here. The terrorists used some kind of nerve gas to attack the beauty salon, and everyone in the beauty salon died. The death toll has reached 31, and no one or organization has claimed responsibility for this attack." Charlotte's gaze suddenly moved to a corner of the screen, and at that moment, he was stunned. The place where his gaze was locked on was the Western restaurant where he had eaten with Yu Shanhe and Ling Hao last night. Another nerve gas attack. Could it be the people who attacked the fitness center? Terrorists, if they really were terrorists, they would have made a statement after attacking the fitness center, right? But so far, there has been no. Charlotte suddenly thought of something, and his back suddenly became cold, and a cold sweat appeared on his forehead. The news was still going on, but he couldn't watch it anymore. He got up and left the dining room, walking to Zhu Xuanyue's room. He walked to the door of Zhu Xuanyue's room, and reached out to grab the doorknob. After a few seconds, he let go and turned to leave. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Nights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.